It's February 26, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl or thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. It's time to get in the weeds. I got something in my throat, so excuse me.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. It just came up right as I was doing the intro. It was right
there. Do you have my meat in your throat, Joel?
You're welcome for that. I've been seeing that for weeks, months even, as I'm passing by from my mornings and I'm seeing this thing. I'm seeing Jeremy's meat. I'm like, I got to take a photo. Yesterday, I remembered to take a photo of Jeremy's meat. And it's funny because it's not Jeremy's meats.
Yeah.
It's Jeremy's meat.
Yeah. We discussed this yesterday, that it's just one. You just get just the meat. That's all. You get the one meat. I don't have multiple meats, It's got one meat.
What we're talking about? It's about that big.
Did you go in there? Did you go try it?
No, because it's a few stops before I normally get off, but I'm so close to going and sampling Jeremy's meat. I just haven't had a chance to go and make the time. Maybe on Thursday. Maybe that's when I'll do it. Is that tomorrow? Oh God, it's Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. It's a wonderful Wednesday here in the city of Toronto. The snow is melting and the ice is forming, so be careful out on the streets. Hopefully you're doing well. Jeremy, how are you? How's your meat?
It's good.
Good. I just want to make sure we care about your meat. We want it to be successful.
Yeah. Success? You want success from my meat?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We need success from your meat. We got 15 minutes to kill because at 10:20 we're scheduled to be joined by MLW's AKIRA. He's been on the show before. He was supposed to be on yesterday, but of course, because on Monday Jeremy jinxed it, he didn't show up. But he's rescheduled. He's going to be here at 10:20, talk about MLW Battle Riot and a whole lot more. The man is going to Japan and having the most hardcore of death matches, and we're going to talk to him about that and a lot of other things that you may not expect out of a deathmatch wrestler like AKIRA. Looking forward to that.
We'll ask him about meats.
Could you flash it on the screen when he comes on and just say,
yeah, has he been to Toronto? Has he wrestled in Toronto?
I have to look that up. I've got his cage match in front of me. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he's been there.
You never know. Let's see if he's been to Toronto. Hey, he's done a couple matches in Toronto. So we'll ask AKIRA about meat.
Has he worked Toronto? He's done Super Kicked?
He's done Demand Lucha in Toronto.
Oh, Demand. They are the one promotion that eludes me because I work Thursdays, and that's when they typically do their shows at Thursdays and the odd Sunday afternoon, and I can't really do that much on Sunday afternoon. So yeah, he's faced Arrow Boy and he's faced Frankie the Mobster, the Beast King. That's funny. It was Effie's Lucha Vacation. Amazing. That was 2022. That was a long time ago. My God. I'm gonna ask him about neither of that, really, honestly. We're gonna ask if he tried Jeremy's meat when he went to Toronto.
Yeah, we're gonna ask him about meats.
But then we're gonna find out he's a vegetarian and completely tank the bit.
Well, we'll get information at the very least out of him.
That's true. Deathmatch vegetarians. I'm sure they exist. They're very soft people. They're very soft-hearted. They're deathmatch wrestlers. It's such an interesting dichotomy. Very kind, gentle people who love to make other people bleed.
Yeah, I mean, they're not carnivores, so they show the meat of other people.
You stretched for that one, but good on you. I'm very proud of you for trying.
Struggling with that one. Can't lie.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. You know what? Let's let everyone else not struggle by leaving a thumbs up on the video. Let's get the pyro. Don't struggle to get the pyro and the ballyhoo going. Let's go. Where are you at? Big smiles and pyro.
There we go.
There it is. Pyro's out. Go. Pyro's out. Go leave a thumbs up. Okay? Do that. And subscribe to the channel here at Fightful Overbooked. Plenty of content here. The shorts are dropping every day. The people are coming and talking on this show every day and on other shows on the channel. So go check it out. It's good stuff. And you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. And of course, it helps to guide the conversation, whether you like it or not, or whether we like it or not. That's what we do. We'll talk about NXT. I'll touch a little bit on some Raw stuff. But I think for the top of the show, for the next 10 minutes, we're going to talk about absolutely nothing because because we're scheduled to have a guest in 10 minutes, and it'd be weird to get deep into a conversation and then have to, pull up or out. You don't want to pull out your meat so early in a conversation, Jeremy.
We're going to pull out our meats here today on the show.
Great way for us to get demonetized, kicked off, have to cut a bunch of stuff from the show again. I don't want to do that. Was there more Thea Hale content that I missed?
Oh, yeah. I get tagged. And for all I know, Jay Grills is the one tagging me, but I get tagged on the Thea Hale content, which absolutely rules. I retweeted it. It's on my timeline along with obviously her timeline. She tried more coffee. She gave this order a 7 out of 10, but she blamed herself, not the coffee place. She blamed herself for maybe it was watered down a little too much, and she got the dairy milk, which I think all milk is dairy, some type of milk. I forget.
There's almond milk and other non-dairy milks.
I think she got oat milk. I think it was oat milk that she got, and she said that might have been a bad choice. But she also got a cheese Danish, and that was very delicious.
She got a cheese Danish and called it a Danish?
Danish.
What is it?
I called it a Danish.
Oh,
I don't know.
She called it a Danish. And we're like, we got to have words with the Hale. Danish?
Cheese Danish.
Is that like a donair? Like, what?
I don't know. Danosh.
Danosh. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, yeah.
It's a Danish.
Nah, those are people, not food.
Yeah, but I mean, if you ask the right people, then it can be food too. Right off the hip, Mike.
You ask people who like meat, then sure.
That's true. The Danish also like that. Matthew Hook's opening us up saying, how would you debut Speedball and Josh Alexander in AEW? Completely differently. First of all, I would do that completely differently, completely separately. Speedball, it looks like he's going to have the big match announcements type of debut. They put out the Collision teaser. He's coming. He's going to be there. I feel like this is he's going to have a big match. That's kind of the way I would debut him. I know a lot of people had thought about maybe doing the Max Caster thing leading to Speedball debut, but I don't think it's going to be it. What are you laughing about? You're very excited about an idea.
I got a great idea for Speedball and Alexander, but continue.
No, and then for Alexander, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how quickly he's going to be ready to go or how quickly AEW is going to want to bring him in. If it were up to me, I'd wait until after Revolution, which honestly, Revolution's only a week and a half away. So it's not that big a deal. Like you can wait for another week. But yeah, he would be someone for either the Revolution, even the Dynamite after Revolution, or even until after Dynasty, if you want to have Speedball be after Revolution. I don't know who comes first or what the expectation is for either man in their spots. Cause I'm sure, again, we've gotten into this Tony Khan bring someone in, they have a big start, and then they kind of fade back and they got to climb their way back up. We've seen a lot of that, and I'm hoping that this isn't what we're going to get with Speedball and with Josh Alexander.
What is a Berliner?
It's a Berliner.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know, actually. Let's find out. Well, it's someone from Berlin. But it's also it's a donut.
Oh, is it?
Sure, it's a jelly donut.
Oh, I don't like my donuts filled. Like the cream, like the cream filling is kind of okay, but like the jelly filling or any type of other filling, not a fan of it. Just like a straightforward, nice donut. That's all.
We eat those around Hanukkah. They're called sufganiyot. But yes, Berlin.
You eat donuts around Hanukkahs?
Yeah. Hanukkah's a part of you do some donuts, you eat some latkes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And they're jelly.
I don't like the filling. Can't do it. All right, here's how I debut Speedball Mike Bailey and Josh Alexander. You ready for this, Joel? No one's ever thought of this. I promise you, no one has thought of this. You bring out Speedball and you call him Josh Alexander. And then you bring out Josh Alexander and you call him Speedball Mike Bailey. And you just see how long you can keep the bid up. And maybe they wrestle like each other too. So Josh Alexander is doing all like Speedball kicks and everything. And Speedball is doing like the C4 and being a little bit more technical instead of striking based. And they just keep calling them by the opposite name. And then finally, this all leads to not a match, because wrestling matches are stupid. This all leads to them being in the ring and they're just doing the Spider-Man meme. And that's it. And that's the end of it. No one's thought of that. I guarantee it.
Do they switch gear too? So Speedball's wearing the singlet.
Yeah,
and
Speedball's got the head headgear on. Yeah.
if he really commits, he grows out his beard and he shaves his head. And Josh tries to grow out his hair again, shave his beard. Yeah, let's do it.
Josh Alexander, he's wearing the gi and everything. That's what we're doing.
There's so many questions.
Technically, they are kind of like switching souls, Jay Grills. Like they, in a way, they're switching souls. So that's how I would debut both men. Is I would debut Speedball as Josh Alexander, and I would debut Josh Alexander as Speedball Mike Bailey.
Do you think the people would understand? Do you think the people would get behind this idea?
You play it the whole time, by the way. Like you don't ever like you have to play it straight the whole time, is what I'm trying to say. So you can't like make a reference of, oh, he's doing a gimmick or whatever. You can't be like The Rock. You can't get on Twitter, be like, love play on this character of Speedball Mike Bailey. Like, no, he has to play it like Josh Alexander has to play like he's Speedball, and the announcers has to sell it as such. They got to call him like a former X Division champion, which I know Alexander actually was. Yeah. But, you know, Speedball, who is playing Alexander, is a former TNA champion. So they have to like play into the history like that as well. You have to play it completely straight and serious.
You think maybe instead they'll call them Impact champions because Alexander was the Impact World Champion, not the TNA World Champion?
Oh, maybe.
I think they do that. I think they go that far. That's a level I aspire to.
We need a good Freaky Friday gimmick. Like, why is this not done? Why has it not been done like a long term in wrestling? It feels like you could get some mileage out of this, especially the sports entertainment company. You think they would love a Freaky Friday gimmick.
I mean, you could be doing it right now with Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, and people would probably fall for it. You saw them dressing similarly, and they posted the photo on socials. Like, you can get away with it. I would believe that they think they are the other. Lightning struck the ring, and suddenly they switch space.
This is my pitch to whatever wrestling company is going to hire me. We're doing a Freaky Friday gimmick with somebody. Don't care who. Just give me two wrestlers. It could be male, female. It could be male, male. It could be female, female. It could be anything. I'm switching them up. I'm going Freaky Friday with them.
I'm surprised TNA didn't try to do this during the Wrestle House years.
Cowardly.
That would have been the perfect spot. I feel like they've done something like that before, but they just never did it in the ring.
I'm committing full bore to this. I'm gonna have Will Ospreay. This is how I get Will Ospreay to tone down his style. I'm gonna have Will Ospreay switch with Bobby Lashley, and then Will Ospreay's doing a bunch of power moves, and Lashley's got to go out there and do a bunch of flips and shit.
Nothing wrong can come from that. So J Girl saying in the chat, almost, and Marco's
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Marco's son trying to do big man moves. Omos just trying to do topes.
Rule. Absolutely rule.
We had people, bruv. Yeah, they gotta take on the whole gimmick. You gotta act like them, you gotta walk like them, you gotta talk like them, you gotta be like them, you gotta dress like them. You got Will Ospreay coming out in full-on suits with his meta snap glasses. You've seen those? Yeah, with the cameras. I see you wearing those, Bobby Lashley. I see them. Don't post any content from them, but I see you wearing them. Think you're something. I want those glasses. Or Alex Cardoza has that. He works on the website. Anyway, I don't know if I actually want those because they're attached to Meta, and I feel like there would be some stuff that just shouldn't be there. Spying glasses, Jeremy.
I don't care.
Matthew Hook saying Jeremy would have the most injured roster of all time. Not if they know how to do their jobs.
Yeah. What do you mean I'd have the most injured roster of all time? I don't think that's true at all.
Just John Silver and Trick Williams.
Well, that'd be fun. That's a very random pairing that I can appreciate.
I don't know how you would play that off. Hologram and Harley Cameron. You don't have to look too far. We've already done Harley.
Yeah, AEW stepped on their own bit with Harley Graham.
Holla Cameron.
Holly Cameron.
Grandma Cameron. Cameron Graham? Sorry. Now we're just trying to put the words out. Yeah, no, let's never do that. But I like the idea of having two wrestlers just do a Freaky Friday. This is an indie-rific booking decision that should have been taken to the majors. It should be on the national stage.
I have so many great indie ideas that more wrestlers need to use.
Go on.
Well, my WWE ID title one. I feel
Yeah.
very good about that.
Mhm.
The Freaky Friday gimmick that I've just pitched is also very good. What else have I come up with?
Were you the 30 man, the 30th person in an empty ring? Everyone's been eliminated. Was that not you?
I think Jensen.
Was
Like
that a
that
Jensen
idea.
thing? Okay.
Yeah, because they did that they've done that on the independents before.
So that's Jensen. Right. Jensen did mention that. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, the fiddle.
The fiddler on the roof.
Fiddler in the ring in this case.
Yeah. Detective Danhausen. We need a good detective gimmick.
That was our best. That was our best work yet, Detective Danhausen. Still, we're still busy trying to detect.
We're still trying to figure out. Remember when he came back for one spot and people popped, and then it was like, anyway, we ain't seeing this guy again.
We were so close. Is he going to be? Everyone just being like, is he going to be a part of Ring of Honor? Is he going to be a part of Ring of Honor? No, we haven't seen him. Oh man, you think he'd maybe go for like the world 6-man tag titles with MXM or something? But no, or not.
He punched them in the dick. He's not.
Maybe he joined them afterwards. Maybe there was respect for the dick punching.
Remember when Johnny TV joined them for like a week?
He brought him in on the cart. There was again, Ring of Honor doesn't exist, but it's also simultaneously the best for stupid shit like this.
They should allow me to book Ring of Honor.
I mean, it'd be better than whoever's doing it now, because right now it seems like nobody is. It's probably AI driven at this point.
I should be allowed to book Ring of Honor. You would not get the banger matches of old that you've come to love and enjoy from Ring of Honor. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there, that no wrestling on this Ring of Honor. It's going to just be full-on variety show.
I would argue that they don't get those banger matches now on Ring of Honor, except for once in a while.
I can do a lot of good stuff with it. They got characters on ROH. They just don't do anything with them. MXN Collection is great. The Frat House, love Jack Jameson. So they've got some good characters to do something with, but they just don't. They just don't do anything.
Just need more gimmicks.
Oh, I would totally do like a 3-ring battle royal. World War III, WCW World War III. That's one of the greatest gimmick matches of all time. Anything with 3. I love the triple cage. And obviously the Doomsday Tower to end Hulkamania. The Alliance to end Hulkamania. That's my favorite match of all time. So anything with 3s, I would 100% do.
Well, I can't give you 3, but I can give you 40. How about that?
Okay.
Because our guest is here. And when he's ready, he can give me a thumbs up and we can bring him onto the show. He's been here before. We love him, and he's always fun to talk to. He's going to be a part of the MLW Battle Riot on April the 5th in LA at the Commerce Casino and Hotel. I can say it right. I promise I can. We welcome back to the show the one and only AKIRA. Good morning.
Good morning. It is morning because I came back to New York. I had some things I had to do, and it just made it even more convenient that I'm here with you guys.
We appreciate you joining us here this morning. We're going to start off very lighthearted. Nothing too serious. We'll get into the serious stuff later on. But we've been talking about what's that?
It's always serious. There's never a dull moment. I'm not a comedy guy. You know this. Come on now.
Oh, this isn't comedy.
When have I ever been funny? When have I ever been funny in my career? Come.
This isn't comedy we're talking about. We're talking about your favorite meats. Do you have a favorite meat, AKIRA?
I will always have a love and a need for a good steak, whether it is a sirloin, whether it is a ribeye, whether it is filet mignon. I don't care. I haven't had the pleasure to have a tomahawk yet, but that's definitely on the list. I love steak. Fish is good, but there's nothing better than a good medium rare steak with a potato or mashed potatoes and maybe some asparagus. Asparagus or broccoli. Mix the broccoli in with the mashed potatoes and then you've got your steak, and you put it all together. That combination is the sandwich. It is the refined art of a sandwich taste of a dinner.
Now
I
it's
know.
funny. Hold on. I love that he glossed past like the most, I don't know, controversial is how you like your steak, and he said medium rare, which by
Medium
the way is the
rare.
right answer.
Hank Hill is correct. It's medium rare.
Yeah.
If it's anything else, you ask him politely but firmly to leave.
That's all we wanted you for, AKIRA. We're just asking about meat here. Good talking to you.
Maybe. Wait, are we talking about some other kind of meat that I'm unaware of? Like there, like.
Well, so this is how this.
There you are. Found you out. We know what you're talking about.
Well, this is how all of this started. So there's this place in Toronto. Joel here is from Toronto. It is called Jeremy's Meat, and apparently it's just one meat. That's all you can get there. It's just one meat.
Well, it's like Seinfeld. It's like the soup Nazi. You just go in there, you get what you get. You don't complain, otherwise you don't get it. But apparently it's good, otherwise you wouldn't serve that one style of meat.
I agree.
I have yet to go in there. I just see it all the time on my commutes, and I say I have to take a photo. So I did, and now we know it exists. So now I have to make a stop. Maybe tomorrow I will make a stop.
It's almost like a Weird Al cover of the Pearl Jam song, but instead of Jeremy in your head, it's Jeremy's Meat. Obviously, it's not as dark as Jeremy, but it's neither here nor there.
I got teased so much for that song. They were like, "Oh, there's Jeremy. He's gonna go all Pearl Jam on us." I was like, I was born before this song came out. I have no connection to it.
Wait a minute. No,
when were you born?
I was born in '88. Didn't the song come out in the '90s?
You were born. It came in the '90s, but honestly, that's the perfect time for you to get into the song. Is like 10 years later when it came out.
Oh, I like this song. It's a good song, but people wanted to say, "Oh, were you named after the Pearl Jam song?"
Oh, trust me, I know the cruelty and avarice of children knows no bounds. I am well aware of it.
Well, children suck. I got 12 of them. I don't like any of them.
You have? I think you have 12 of them.
Yeah,
brother.
A lot of kids.
I know we're talking about meat.
Yeah, my meat's very busy.
Yeah, maybe wrap your meat. 12 is too much. How are you affording this?
The scoops pay well, AKIRA.
That's the thing. You're not affording it.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Unless you're pulling a reverse America, where you have all the kids and all the moms are paying the child support. Then
it's only one mom. Come on now, it's one mom.
Oh, I don't know. You're talking about meat. The way what you're talking about right now, your mind's all over the place. You could just be the king of Toronto. Like that's possible.
Well, I got enough to field like an entire basketball team, bench and everything. So that's basically what I do is I sell them out to go play basketball.
Okay. It's your own child workforce. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're bringing in the money for me. That's how it works.
If I start seeing Lambert style Nike shoes, I'll know what's going on. Okay.
I got to know what that logo looks like.
It's literally just the Nike logo, but it's shaped like an L.
Yeah.
It's like
thanks for joining us today, AKIRA. I hope you. Oh, what is this?
It's my Nike logo.
Oh, okay.
Did you get your appendix out? What are we doing there?
No, when I wrestled at RPW and in November, the day before Bloodsport, and the reason I had to pull out was because I got an injury in that match, and they thought that I pierced. I think it was one of my kidneys because it was just a very crazy accident. But yeah, I now have an official Nike logo, and I'm still trying to push for Nike to sponsor me so I can live the good life. Nike, I literally have the logo right here. You don't have to get it done. It's already official. I'm seen on different websites and different all over the world. Maybe it's time to just give me that little, maybe $5,000 a month. I'm not asking a lot here. You've got $5,000. What you don't pay those children to make the shoes, you can give to me.
LeBron's got some leftover money. He can't chip in $5,000 here.
LeBron, come on, man, help me out here. Maybe give me my own customs. It's fine. I don't like glass shattered Nike shoes. There's a style. Come on, I'm printing money here for you guys.
That's actually really good. Like a Taipei deathmatch shoe.
Oh yeah, it's a shattered glass design. You can get it in different colors. Nike, come on, everyone tag Nike. This is a good idea. This is a very good idea, and I'll sell them at shows. I'll be like Virgil, but I'll sit at a lone thing, and it'll say AKIRA, Nike, and I'll have boxes of shoes behind me. No more.
You know they'll make those things for like $5. You sell them for 50. You split the profit there. You're good.
They're gonna be so cool. They're gonna be so nice. You sell them for 100, man. Come on, get it. I gotta up this.
Fair, very fair. I like this idea. Well, we're gonna try to bring this to fruition. It'll be an article on Fightful, so we got a little bit of juice for some reason.
No, please. I need more Fightful articles. I need more Fightful articles on my Big Japan stuff, on my MLW stuff. I need more articles. I need more advertising space for me because I am very handsome. I'm very good looking, and I can just market anything that you want. I am very eloquent. Come now, give me your money and let me make you money. Or steal your money, either or.
Oh, we don't want to steal money.
Oh, no, I will steal your money at this point.
Okay. All right.
I will aid and abet that stealing of money. Who am I kidding?
Let's not get ourselves incriminated on this show, everybody. Come on.
It's not incrimination. It's just all jokes. It's a prank, bro.
It's a morning show. That's how we get away with most of our shtick.
They're
going to use this
with much worse, okay?
They're going to use this show in courts. I mean, they're using music in court.
Take me to jail. Nowadays. At least I'll get a meal. I'll have a bed. And I don't have to pay for anything.
You only do 2 days in jail as well. So
no. Give me life. I'm done with.
Well, then you only do 1 day in jail.
No, I want life. I'm only gonna live 1 day.
It's a Wire reference, AKIRA. Have you ever seen The Wire?
Oh, no, I've never seen The Wire. You
gotta watch The Wire.
I've got a lot of other things I'm reading. Like right now, I'm not watching too much.
Is that what you do on flights? Long flights to Japan? You a reader?
I'm listening.
Oh, I think his internet
was
cut.
It happened.
We got talking about reading, and the internet was like, no, not on my book.
The flight, I've been having worse luck with Wi-Fi, where the planes doesn't work.
Wait for it. Wait for it. You got to the punchline, and then the internet decided to do what it does.
He said he's been having bad luck with Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi took that personal.
Me and Norm is asking, is he at Kate's house?
Oh, there we
go.
There we go. Yeah, so with the joke of the Wi-Fi, so being right there on all the flights, I've had like no Wi-Fi, and in Japan, the Wi-Fi is spotty. I have a SIM, but the great thing about being in Japan is like I'm so much more detached from my phone. I've come to many personal changes in my life where I'm not looking at my phone much anymore, other than posting stuff for business or that quick social media post. But I'm not getting any affirmation from it. I just retweet what I need to retweet. I'm reading a lot more. I'm just observing and enjoying life. And I will say the last 2 MLW shows, I could just tell people are looking at me more and more and more. They're like, you look like more weathered and tired. I'm like, well, I'm growing my brain, unfortunately, and it's an exacerbating experience.
What are you reading?
So I just finished a Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, a book on the philosophy of Stoicism. And I personally agree a lot with it. Maybe it's because it has an acclamation towards being kind of samurai-esque. The samurai are very stoic in their own way. And as always, it kind of interlays within my name and my career and myself. But now I'm going to start reading. I'm going to get a couple different books while I'm here. Self-help, Japanese stuff. There's a bunch of different things. But I finally am picking up this book. It's called The Crooked Timber of Humanity by Isaiah Berlin. And I'm going to crack it open and see what it's about. I'm kind of I'm pushing towards new things, whether it's music, movies. I just saw the movie called The Brutalist. It's 3.5 hours long, but it's very, very, very good. I would just go watching it. It's about a someone who does an architecture style called brutalism. Very good, but it's a lot. It's a lot when you sit down and the first thing it says is prologue, and you're like, oh, I saw it in Japan, so it has subtitles in Japanese, but I just thought it was brutal. I didn't know what it was about until I sat down and it said prologue, and I was like, oh, this is one of those. It's going to be a long, long, long movie. And I brought like two people to come watch it with me. I was like, hey, let's go see this movie. We sat down at 7. Then I looked at the ticket and it said finish 11:30 at night. And I was like, I'm sorry. It was very good. It's a very dense movie, but I'm trying to read and take in more dense subjects, whether it is music, books, I'm even looking into like investing and things like that. I still like my games. I like my manga, my anime, all that stuff that everyone likes nowadays. But I've come to just realize I'm 31 going on 32, and I have a lot more of this world I want to take in and learn. And I'm done trying to just absorb safe, fun things that will keep my brain occupied because it's safe. I want to challenge myself as a human being. Same in wrestling. I'm going to start training with Daisuke Sekimoto. I asked him 2 days ago before I left to come back here, and it was funny because I said Sekimoto-san, please, I want to train and kind of become a mentee under you, and he basically just told me, I don't want to like. I don't want
Oh no, we're getting a good answer.
So he
here.
said, "Okay, when return we train." Oh no! What did y'all miss? What did I say?
It cut off basically. It cut off when you said you asked Sakamoto to train with him and you wanted to be a mentee. And now I worry that it's cut off.
And then he said,
"Help." maybe that's the issue. But he basically, I didn't expect him to be so complimentary, but he looked at me and he said, "You don't need mentor, you excellent." And I said, and it's nice to hear that, but I didn't want to let that get to me. And I immediately went to him and said, "No, please, maybe excellent, but I want to be better. I want new opinion." So he looked at me and smiled and said, "Okay, when return next week, we start training in ring together." So I'm gonna be picking his brain for the next 4 to 5 months, and we'll see who I become as time goes on. But I'm just here trying to push myself this year as in every other ways that I can, so that I can become the most successful person that I can be.
I was going to say, you've put a lot of reflection and introspective stuff on your Instagram. You're sharing a lot of that stuff. Is there one affirmation or reflection that stays with you always, that you're always kind of meditating on or thinking about?
It's okay. So it kind of plays into my readings on Stoicism, but it also plays into things you need to say for yourself, because the things that you do for yourself, if you're doing it for a wholesome reason and not just for a selfish reason, it will interlay into the rest of your life. It's doing the things you need to do for you. Don't delay it. Don't procrastinate. Everyone says carpe diem, but when you fully illustrate that point of do it for you because no one else will, it really puts into perspective how short that life is. And it's you know what? Yeah, I do need to do the work for me. So I used to wake up late, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. sometimes. But I've been getting Dale Patrick's up while we're over in Japan, 7:15. I wake up, cold shower, do my Duolingo. Because it's I'm never going to learn this language or any other language if I don't do it. And I can't break that. I have to maintain this order. And I repeat that every time I want to procrastinate. Do it now. Do it now. Do it because you need to do it for you. And focus on you is another one that plays in my life a lot now. But generally, like, that's the kind of the one that is interlays in my head, because when you finish the reading on meditations, it talks about death a lot, and the coming to terms with death, and the idea of fearing something that will come no matter what, and you don't know what lies on the other side is, it's putting more stress in your life that you don't need, because you could be focusing on other things. Why focus on this thing? It's going to happen whether we like it or not. And, if you are religious like I am, you die, and maybe there's something afterwards. And if there is, great. But if there's not, there's nothing. So what does it matter? And a lot of things have happened to me this year already where I've kind of just ascertained that I'm just going to live, and whatever happens, happens. If I get hurt in the ring and I die in the ring, well, that's it. I'm done. It's over. Whatever people think of me, whatever people say, whatever people love about me, doesn't matter, because I'm not here anymore. So just live in the now, enjoy it while you can. And when it's gone, it's gone. Nothing you can do. But what you can do is be the best version of yourself that you can be, so that you feel fulfilled. You feel fulfilled about what you did at the end of all. If you can feel happy and you die, you wanted to do something, you wanted to read that book, and in 2 weeks you finish that book and you feel good, and then you die. Guess what? You still felt good about something. You read that book.
Very profound. We don't want you to die in the ring or otherwise.
Some people do, I think. It's okay. It's okay.
No, we don't need to talk about those.
Hey, it's okay. No, it's okay, because if you really think about it, we all strive to be remembered forever. But generally, most people will be forgotten to the sands of time, and that's just part of it. But do what you can while you're here, because that's life.
One thing you were doing is a lot of fluorescent light tube matches in Big Japan.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask, like, how does it feel to just get hit by light tubes all the time? But how is this latest tour with Japan going, and doing all these different type of light tube matches that also include barbed wire and more light tubes and tables and ladders and more light tubes and chairs?
It's very funny, because it almost feels like a flash from the past. I'm sure that you all remember when I really hit the scene in 2020 and 2021, and I was 2 years into wrestling, right? And that's all I was doing was deathmatch. I guess what's great over there is that it's all the stuff, but I'm allowed to interplay my wrestling into it. And I've had a lot of people, especially this tour. I don't know, whatever happened to myself within this last year. My wrestling has changed, my philosophy, and my as life happens, my vision on pro wrestling has changed. And I've had many people come up to me and say, that are wrestlers, and say, 1 year ago, okay, this year, as Sekimoto-san said, excellent. But it's been a great tour. As I won King of the Death match at the end of the year / beginning of the year. I was technically, I think, the first match of the year. And I feel very fulfilled with what the fans are saying. It's not like I'm just a gaijin that went over there and they kind of like me. I'm over there, and it's like when I'm here, it's AKIRA. Like, they're very behind me, 100%. A lot of the BJW fans want me to win the Deathmatch Heavy Championship. Just they say that I bring an energy and I'm bringing an eye to Big Japan, Dai Nippon, that is sorely missed and needed. And I even just like this right here, talking about it on Fightful is I think good for Big Japan, and I don't think anyone else brings this to the table. And I want Big Japan to be successful. I want them to be strong like they were in the mid 2000s and before COVID, when they were drawing bigger crowds. I want people to get paid more. I want business to be good, and I firmly believe that I should be the next deathmatch heavyweight champion.
Is there a difference between a fluorescent light tubes and barbed wire board special death match and the non-special edition, or was that just a lost in translation thing?
No, I don't know what I don't know what we're referencing here, but I mean, there's different there's different stipulations of matches. Like they have alpha death matches, different styles, and that's one thing I want to do. I don't want to be just fluorescent death matches. I'm very much over the fluorescent craze that everyone has been going through. It's a cope, and it's a cover for people's lack of an inability to wrestle, especially nowadays here in the United States. And I think what touches people the most in deathmatch wrestling is still the pro wrestling, and a lot of people use weapons and fluorescence to cover up what charisma that they don't have, which luckily I have an abundance of.
We talked to Mads Kruger at the end of last year. Maybe it was early this year, and we talked about the gusset plate spot with you and him.
Ow.
And he said AKIRA might have been the one to pitch this. So were you the one to pitch this?
I'm always the one to pitch it. The horrible things that happen to me, I'm always the one that pitches. And if I pitch something horrible to someone, I generally try to, take something just as equivalent so that we're even. I don't want to be a selfish player here, but one thing I admire about wrestlers like Terry Funk when they were in Japan was their ability to take punishment, and Kobashi and Misawa and all the greats, is that they would take punishment and get sympathy from the fans. And I feel in America, I'm one of the pure baby faces that makes people care. I'm not. I really aspire to be Terry Funk and make people really worry about me. And I think I do it.
I was waiting for that part. Last time we spoke to you, I think we were talking about you bringing your dog Coda to shows.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
Not right now. He is with my family in Indiana, spending time with them. It's easier on the household here that if there's only a dog apiece. But I get updates from him. All the pictures I'm getting now are coming from my family, and so that's where you're getting the pictures from, is from them.
Gotcha.
They're letting me know what he's doing, all that stuff, and it's just nice for me to see him every once in a while. He and Winston are the two closest things I have in my life as family right now, and yeah, no, he's there. But when I'm back, he'll be going back to shows. Just right now, he can't. If I ever had to go to Japan for long term, they got me an apartment to stay in. I've already been kind of pushing towards this. I was like, I cannot leave him over here with my family. I got to bring him with me from now on. He flies for free. He's a service animal. He's a licensed service animal. As everyone has seen on Twitter, on social media, I came up about a very personal subject in my life recently. And I have a lot of stuff that I still deal with from that, and that's why he's there. That dog is very much the closest thing I have to a son and family in New York. He's always by my side. He's always calm. People have seen him at shows. He's just what he is what he is to me.
You mentioned going back to Japan. When are you headed back there?
Next Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, I will head to the airport and then fly back. And at the end of this month, I have the title match, which please, everyone, message Big Japan, cheer me on. You can subscribe to BJW Core. You can do all these other things, and you can see my work there. I'm representing Major League Wrestling there, as well as deathmatch wrestling around the world. And my goal is to take that title and hopefully defend it in a deathmatch on Major League Wrestling.
So are you doing kind of what you did earlier of going to Japan, coming back for basically one MLW show and then going back?
Yeah, right now I needed to get away from the indies in the United States. I feel like I needed to go through, again, this personal growth as a wrestler and as a person, so that when I come back, I can have a fresh start. I've been, as you all know, I have not been injured. I have been around really hard since 2020. And this is the first time in a long time where I've just been detached from the scene. So, and as you can see with the new entrance look, with everything, I'm just kind of finding my own lane, and who I am and who I need to become in order to hit that next level. So by the time June's coming around, you'll probably see some new stuff from the Psycho Samurai, and you'll have a new presence on the scene that the scene is sorely missing. Too many flippy boys, not enough fighters.
so with that in mind, with MLW's Battle Riot coming up April 5th in LA, obviously
most important thing coming up.
We'll talk about that for a second. The world title is on the line in that match. If you're there, if you win, what does a world title around AKIRA's waist look like in MLW? What is that like for you?
It would be the first world title that I've ever had. But what it would look like, it would look like Terry Funk in Japan with gold. I would be probably pissing blood out of my head, but you'd have me in regular matches. You'd have me in death matches. You would have me in every single style because I'm not afraid to fight anyone in any way. If I had that world title around my waist, it would be me against Japanese legends. It'd be me against Lucha legends. But it would also be matches that no one would ever see before. I don't want to be, if I'm that champion, I don't want to be a champion that plays it safe. I want to push the boundaries. I want people to get their eyes on MLW. I want to be a good champion, good for relations, good for business. And I firmly believe I'm eloquent enough, capable enough, and talented enough to do that. Many people, no offense, in MLW can't touch me. They haven't been able to touch me. Even when I was on a losing streak all last year, everyone was talking about me. And I firmly believe it is my time to shine. I get that championship. You know what? I would love to get that championship and do the craziest thing and challenge the craziest people. Hey, Jun Kasai, come to America, fight me at Major League Wrestling. It would be stuff like that. I want my rematches with Kenta. I want my rematches with Suzuki Minoru. I want to fight these people and win and change the perception around Major League Wrestling. I want to be that homegrown talent at Major League Wrestling that wins that thing and becomes that superstar.
That opportunity comes Saturday, April 5th. Commerce Casino and Hotel in Los Angeles, California. It's the MLW Battle Riot. Go check it out. MLWLA.com and get tickets while they're still available. They will sell out because that's what MLW has been doing. AKIRA, before we get you out of here, plug your stuff.
Buy my Halloween shirt, by the way. It's the coolest one of the Halloween shirts. It's me as a zombie samurai. It's very cool. Not enough people are buying and wearing that shirt.
Listen to the man. Anything else you want to plug before we get you out of here?
Yeah, and check out Battle Riot when it occurs. Cheer for me. Tell everyone that they suck, and please watch all the stuff from Big Japan I've been doing this year, King of the Death Match, all that stuff, because it's all building towards the work that I'm doing in Major League Wrestling. You can subscribe on BJW Core as well as the BJW Premium YouTube channel, and just let them know, let the world know that I'm the guy, and I'm tired of pretending that I'm not.
The one and only AKIRA. There we go.
Thank you, AKIRA.
Thank you, guys.
Take care of yourself. The one and only AKIRA. That was some spirited words coming at the end there.
Fired up at the end there.
Seriously. Suddenly I want to see him win the world title.
I don't think we accomplished anything in the first half of that interview, but the second half was good stuff.
I mean, we got the meat stuff. That's pretty great.
Honestly, the Nike shoe thing, that's an easy article for me to write. So yeah. Akira's fantastic. He's been on the show before. He's always very good conversation. He's doing good stuff in Japan. Deathmatch wrestling. As much as I love death in wrestling, I can only take so much of the deathmatch wrestling in short spurts. So the short spurts that I have seen from Big Japan have been very fun and very more like he was saying, and like a lot of people want to do, but I don't think always hit their mark when it comes to deathmatch wrestling. They want to show the art of it. So it's not just, let me hit you with this light tube and this light tube and this light tube, and now we're going to fall through some stuff. Like there's way too much of that stuff. AKIRA tries to bring the art form into it.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear him talk about it because, again, deathmatch wrestling has become, in some ways, again, it depends who you ask because it's subjective art form. It is what he said about, just spots for the sake of spots, and there's no storytelling of any kinds. It's just doing cool stuff for the sake of it. Whereas AKIRA wants to put the art, as he said, into it, and he wants to give you like the hardcore element, but while still telling a story in the ring. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, the guy, listen, we know the guy can go. We've seen him go hard, and we've also seen him wrestle. So, man, props to him. It was a good conversation this morning. Apologies about the internet on his end, but we still got a lot of really good conversation once we got that all, taken care of. So good stuff. More MLW talent always coming on the show.
I'm going to jinx it just right now. We're scheduled to have BRG tomorrow. So when we
Friday.
don't have BRG tomorrow,
So
my bad.
So we'll see BRG on Friday, if not tomorrow.
My bad when BRG doesn't show up tomorrow.
That's fine. There are worse things in the world. Do we really want to ask him how your ears feel after all that honey went in them? Actually, I really need to know that.
We're going to ask him if he's still picking honey out. Did you pick honey? Like, is that a thing? I don't feel like you can you have to scrape it.
I think it's scraping honey. Yeah. Cause it comes from the things, and I think it's a scraping thing.
Maybe we'll learn from BRG. He's the one that, got honey poured all over him. So we'll have to figure it out from him.
I think it'd be very funny if he suddenly became like a beekeeper gimmick instead of whatever he's been doing. Like completely just turned into a beekeeper. It's like, I learned so much when I was covered in that honey. I needed to know more. And now he comes out in a beekeeper suit every single wrestling match he does.
It's the Nick Cage movie.
The bees. Now he's BRG. He's B Ryan Gosling.
It should be, the honey collector. It's pretty good. He just comes out with different bottles of honey. It gets the squeeze bottles, it just squirts his opponent with them.
It's got to be ethically sourced. Paul London interview. Oh God, fantastic Spanish speaking bee.
Anyway. I should have a nest, this nest of bees, and so he whips out the honey squirters and squirts his opponent, and he throws the nest at his opponent, and then there's just bees everywhere attacking his opponent. You'd win a lot of matches that way.
You might actually. Yeah.
I don't know if you could control the bees that well. That might be that might shut down a couple of shows, but we're not worried about that. Let's not let the authorities stand in the way of a good gimmick.
You just make that the main event. Then you don't have to worry about
you hold it outside. Make sure everybody signs a waiver as
there
well. Hey, you might get stung by a bee. Hope you're okay with this.
This is just our idea to use the bricks in the street fight last week between Hobbs.
Yeah.
That's right.
That shit was weak. The bricks that they did not use in that match.
Should have used more bricks.
Always more bricks.
Anyway, Oba Femi's not using bricks in his match against Moose next week.
I mean, he might.
2 weeks now.
He might. You never know.
I don't think it's a hardcore match. They had a lot to clean up, but it wasn't a hardcore match. People got really confused. So Moose defeated Lexus King. They did an X Division Championship match on NXT last night. Moose won, beat Lexus King, who was hometown boy. He got a pretty good reaction too, Lexus King did. Moose, anyway. Oba came out right after the match and effectively set up the NXT title match for Roadblock between himself and Moose. People got a little confused because he said Titan versus Titan, but he pronounced it as if it sounded title versus title. And we had a conversation in the group chat about it. And I went back and listened to it, and he really did. Oba, I can confirm, Oba really did say Titan versus Titan. He just said it poorly. So that's going to be a Roadblock. Also, I give you the spoilers now. Oba's going to appear on TNA this Thursday, and he would have laid out the match then. So I guess they just got ahead of it for whatever reason. But
they put it on the show that people watch.
I mean, realistically, they did. You look at NXT's numbers compared to TNA, then yeah, absolutely. When the only numbers you get for TNA are the Canadian numbers, something's up. But anyway, Oba Moose NXT title, that's happening in a couple weeks in New York at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Wonder if Andrew Zarian's going to show up there.
Security's going to kick him out. I remember you tried to get down here and you tried to pay off somebody with $20. That was Hammerstein, but that's fine. And now they're going to remember him and they're going to kick him out.
And they'll be like, what about a 50? And they'll be like, sold. Go ahead, sir. You may go backstage. Do you want Shawn? Let me call Shawn Michaels for you.
I hope that they do titty versus titty in this match. It's just, they're flexing their pecs like Lex Luger used to always do. That's what we really need. We need a titty off, not title versus title, not Titan versus Titan. Titty versus titty. who can keep up the peck dancing more. Chris Masters, bring him out as a special guest referee, and whoever peck dances the longest, that is who the new NXT champion is. Forget these wrestling matches. You gotta think differently, everybody. You gotta think like the Rock, like the final boss. We're not thinking about wrestling, thinking about stuff that transcends wrestling.
I don't think Moose would be doing a good titty dance, so I think Oba would run away with this.
You don't think Moose has a good titty dance?
Not at all. I don't think he has the. I don't think his pecs are as enhanced as Oba's are.
No, okay.
Yeah, I think Oba's got a little more meat on the bone, if you will. Well, Moose has been leaning out. He's been working really hard to lean out because, once upon a time, Scott D'Amore called him fat, and he was like, "Then I'm not speaking out of school. This is legit. This was his reasoning for his leaning out." He's like, "I took that personally," and then Moose decided to go and spend time, working on his fitness and his health goals and everything. And he looks great. I'm not going to take it away from Moose, but it's just very funny. It's like this all started because Scott called me fat.
Yeah.
But Oba's got more chunk. It's got more to him.
All right. Well, there's only one way to find out, Joel. They do the titty off.
They should do that on. Yeah, Terry Crews would be the special referee for that. Perfect.
Yeah, Terry Crews is a good shout. When he elects Terry Crews and Chris Masters as the judges for this, so we'll do as always multiple things. So you got to do the cardio sessions of who can keep it going the longest. You got to do rhythmic. So you play a song and can you keep up with the rhythm of the beat? And then we'll also do like power. I don't really know how to define that because I can't make my titties dance, but I assume Terry Crews and Chris Masters and Lex Luger can figure that out.
Do you think Lex would be a little, FOMO at this point with the titty dance?
No, I think Lex, he's a legend in that aspect. Like I feel like he's got to be there. They bring out Vince Carter for the dunk contest. Vince Carter can't do a 360 between the legs anymore, but he still goes out there and does it because you show the highlights of look how it used to be with the peck dancing and everything. And I feel like they appreciate that kind of stuff. Feels like Lex is a guy who would appreciate that kind of stuff.
Okay, I can get behind that. All right, that's fine. I was just curious. I know Lex has been working with DDP a lot and trying to get a little more mobile, more agile. So I'm sure he'd just be happy to be there at this point. That'd be good.
Big E.
Big E. Oh, why do we miss Big E?
Big E there. Well, he doesn't show up for these things unless it's a pre-show panel or his girlfriend is there, according to New Day. So we don't know if Big E would actually show up.
That is true. But he loves a good big man meaty thing.
I feel like Big E would be all for the titty off here between Moose and Oba Femi. We'll get Big E as part of this as well. I like that.
He do commentary.
Oh, commentary. Okay.
Commentary. Yeah.
Big E would sell the shit out of that thing too.
I can't believe I'm about to say this seriously, but it's a titty off. So who am I kidding? It's Big E and Booker. Big E and Booker T. It's just those two.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, bounce. Oh, yeah.
This is the only time where it is permissible to have Booker T on commentary, and it's okay. Big E, Booker T for the titty off. That's it.
Booker rules, man. I don't get how people dislike Booker T's commentary.
It's easy. No, I love this. No bread, no water, just teat.
Dude, Booker rules so much. I love his commentary.
It's so bad.
Y'all are haters on Booker T's commentary. It's so hilarious.
No,
y'all want like serious commentary presentation here?
I want my sentences to make sense, Jeremy.
I understand what he's saying.
Well, that's on you then. You tune him out at the best of times.
Nah, Booker T's the only person that I don't tune out because he makes it impossible to tune out.
It's just the whole like you know what it is right now. My favorite that everyone hates on is the Stephanie Vaquer when she does the Naomi the things with the legs and the thing, and he just goes so awkward.
He always ends it. He's like I
think his wife texts him and says, "Stop that."
Then he goes to sleep afterwards. He gets a nice nap in.
Oh, he's surprised he doesn't light up a cigarette in the audience.
Dude, Booker rules.
It's so friggin' weird. Anyway, Oba and Moose is going to be a match that happens. I've said it before. Like, I hope it's a good match. I hope people enjoy it. I know that when Moose wrestles, I think he's better when he works with smaller talent, physically smaller talent. But this could be good. Again, I don't expect a lot. I think Moose will lose if they don't do a schmaz finish, but considering where it is and other matches that have been announced, I just think Moose is going to lose and Oba's going to win, and that's that. Like, they're putting just the NXT title on the line. There's no X Division title. Moose is, in my opinion, going to drop that thing to Leon Slater next. When that is, don't know. But yeah, Oba and Moose is it's NXT title at Madison Square Garden in the theater, so people will be excited for that. They should do a Lions Den match at the theater. Remember that?
I mean, I remember the Lions Den matches. I could not have told you it took place at the theater at MSG, but I'll take your word for it.
It did, because it was SummerSlam 1998. They had to put people in the theater for that one match because they didn't want to put the thing in the arena.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they put them in there. You do a fight pit. That's a good idea. See if you want to modernize it.
I mean, but maybe
the UFC is part of the ownership. So, I mean, they could just not call it the Lions Den and just do it UFC style. It's going to be Lola Vice in a match, isn't it? Do Lola Vice and who knows who.
I was going to say maybe they do Jada and Kalani, because I don't know if things are going to be settled between them next week.
It's not bad. I wouldn't hate that. Do NXT Underground. I wouldn't even do that. I just do. I would like something fun, something special, but we'll see. I don't really know what they're going to do, but they did announce that they're going to do Stephanie Vaquer versus Julia. That's going to be title versus title at this point. They didn't say winner take all, but they said title versus title. So I have to assume that insinuates winner take all.
Oh, didn't Ava say like one person will walk out with both championships?
Oh, well, if she did, then I missed that because okay, she said a lot in that one particular promo that went somewhere.
That's a big match.
It is. I think most people have come to the agreement that it's not going to end with a 1, 2, 3. And if it does, then what happens to Stand and Deliver? What happens to whatever mid-card women's championship match would have existed?
Well, it depends if they're going to combine the titles into one or if they are going to just keep them separated like the Offspring. So you could theoretically do a double title match, or you could do one title match, or you could have Julia or Vaquer wrestle twice on the show, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. I think maybe I'm going to give them too much credit here. I think they're going to do some type of clean finish. I do.
So there's good and bad to doing that. Of all the women's mid-card titles that WWE has, the North American Women's Championship is probably the best represented across all three brands, or at least the best, represented. Getting rid of, or at least combining it and not having it as part of the women's mid-card in NXT feels kind of stupid. It doesn't make sense compared to what's going on with the United States Women's Championship and the Intercontinental Women's Championship. That's why I think most people, including myself, would rather they do some sort of schmoz finish and that lead into whatever they're going to do at Stand and Deliver. Maybe it's a triple threat. Jordan Grace, somehow gets involved, but it feels like maybe Jordan and Roxanne might be doing a specialty match instead. But I don't know. It's very strange. A clean win is what most people want to see in a wrestling match, but this is one time where, in my opinion, it doesn't really serve the entirety of the women's division in NXT. I think it kind of takes away, and you kind of made it. You put the bullet in the chamber a little too quickly when it comes to Vaquer and Julia, because like they just got here. It's been about 3-4 months, so I don't know. It feels very quick to get there.
Can you do a time limit? Can you do a 30-minute time limit draw?
If they announce a time limit, then absolutely, which is something that they don't really ever do. Like AEW will do that, or at least they'll say, Continental Championship has a 20-minute time limit. We all know that. The world title has like a 60-minute. New Japan is the same thing, right? Certain titles have time limits, whereas regular matches have a different time limit. If they announce some sort of time limit, feels like people are going to get it, because otherwise there's no time limits in WWE, at least none that are out there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they can potentially do a time limit draw. Right now, there's 3 matches. Moose and Oba probably going to be a relatively hard-hitting short match. SP3 is going to go crazy if it goes over 15 minutes. The Hardyz and Fraxiom will probably get a little bit of time, but it also feels like it could be just like a really fun sprint instead of a elongated tag team match. I think you can do a time limit between Julia and Fat Kurt. But then I'm like, well, why wouldn't they just run it back at Stand and Deliver, still title for title? So that's why I think you might get a clean finish out of this. And then it might be Julia. I think Julia is going to win, by the way, if they do a clean finish. It might be Julia pulling double duty at Stand and Deliver, which again, they've done before. Carmelo Hayes did the double duty thing. Trick Williams has done the double duty. Like they've done it before.
But they needed to do it because they didn't have a very deep men's roster. Now they have a very deep women's roster that they're building people within it. So it feels a little unservicing. Again, it's a disservice to a women's roster that's pretty stacked, to the point where Jordan Grace came out and put that over like the best division in women's wrestling. And like for a while, she's kind of been right. At least it's the most developed right now.
Sure. Is it really a disservice though?
Yeah, because you're having this champion with 2 titles work twice, whereas you can have instead other talent defending this championship. And it's like you can have 2 people or you can have 4 people who deserve it. In other words, you can have a one-on-one match with 2 different people, or you be having 2 matches with Julia, and there'll be 1 other person on the other side. You know what I mean? The spotlight is shorter.
Not if you're doing like a multi-women's match for the North American title, which I expect anyway. Like, I don't think they're going to do a singles match for the women's North American title, Vaquer against somebody else. I think it probably will be a multi-women's match. And then Julia does a one-on-one match against whoever for the NXT title. Maybe Jordan, maybe it's a rematch against Vaquer. I think there are ways to play this, but I don't think it necessarily takes away from the division, especially because in this instance, we're talking about 2 matches at Stand and Deliver, which is a month and a half from when Roadblock is. So you're not, it's a little over a month. So you're not dragging this out for 6 months or anything. You're getting things in line for Stand and Deliver. Julia's going to defend twice, one being a multi-woman match and then another some type of singles match. I don't think it fully takes anything away from the overall division.
All right. I understand what your point is. I just I don't know. I feel like a non-finish makes the most sense to build for something.
I hate non-finishes though.
I do too, but this is one time where I would be more than okay with it if it builds to a bigger match for Stand and Deliver. Even
what's the bigger match?
I mean a divided match. There is no bigger match between other than Stephanie and Julia. There is none. But I wouldn't have both titles on the line just because, again, this is the one. I'm stuck on it, but I'm going to stay stuck on it. This is the one women's mid-card title that actually has meant anything and has done anything.
Yeah, I agree.
So to have it on both of these women going into the Stand and Deliver events, when you could have 2 separate matches featuring, 2 champions and 2 opponents, it would feel weird. Or if you do a multi-woman match, I get that. I don't know. There's a story that you can tell. Julia wins both. Julia goes, they do a multi-woman ladder match for the North American title. She doesn't lose the match, but she gets beat up. Then she's got to go and defend her NXT Women's Championship, later on in the night against someone. And then she wins, but it's like by the skin of her teeth because she's so beat up from the match before. And, the babyface looks strong, and here we are. You could do that. I just don't know if they're going to go there.
I just question why you're doing this match at all if you're just going to do a screwy finish out of it.
Storytelling. That's going to be their reasoning.
I just don't get what the story is in that case. Somebody's just going to interfere. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez are going to interfere, and then you're just redoing that whole chestnut.
Well, when is Roadblock the week after next?
Yeah, Roadblock is 2 weeks from yesterday.
What is that date? The 11th. So it's the same week as the TNA special. The TNA special is the 14th, so it's on the Friday. And the 11th is Roadblock. The reason I bring this up is because people mentioned Cora Jade. Cora Jade has the match against Masha on the Friday. So for her to come in and get involved in this, whereas she's already got the Knockouts title match, like, it feels a little disjointed. She should be, quote, focused on the Knockouts title. So for her to get involved with the other matches would just feel strange. So I don't know if she's going to be the one to get involved with this. Unless Masha gets involved, and suddenly there are 3 women's championships involved in this whole schma. It's like, let's really mess it up. Someone's saying it'll be Tessa. I don't think so. I think a lot of people are doom planning for Tessa Blanchard, but I don't think it's happening as quickly as others are saying.
Yeah, if they book this match just to bring out Tessa Blanchard, we gotta check on Shawn Michaels. We gotta check on this whole relationship.
She's got other stuff coming up through TNA anyway, so there is that to keep in mind. It's okay. A very strange match to make.
All right. Here's the correct answer, Joel. They do this match, and there is interference in this match, and it does set up a triple threat match for both titles. They do the old WrestleMania gimmick with who was it? The Chris's and Eddie, and that who? Oh, no, Kurt. It was Kurt. It was the Chris's and
the Euro Continental Championship.
Yeah,
match?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They do that. They do that gimmick at Stand and Deliver. And you know who interferes in 2 weeks, right, Joel? Thea Hale.
Yeah.
Thea Hale returns. She interferes. It sets up the triple threat match for both titles, where the first fall is for one title and the second fall is for another title. But here's how it goes, folks. Thea Hale stacks them both for both pinfalls. She wins both falls in one fall to get the titles, both of them.
With a belly full of coffee and soy milk, Thea Hale comes back to claim her championship. She should win both.
That's right.
And then she should go on to TNA and beat Masha for the TNA World Knockouts Championship.
I agree with that too.
Fine with that. Thea Hale versus Masha Slamovich at Rebellion. Let that be the match. I'm all for that. Someone's saying Wendy Richter. Puts my butt in the seats. That's right. Fine by me. And of course, the other big match you alluded to was the Hardyz taking on Fraxiom. Hardyz on NXT. They beat No Quarter Catch Crew. Solid match. Good stuff. The Hardyz, listen, the Hardyz are fine. It's 2025. They have been around for a very long time. They are doing the moves. They are doing their stuff, and it works, and the fans love it. It's totally cool. Don't be expecting the Hardyz to come out and have these banger showcase matches, but they're fine.
Hating on the Hardyz
because of the TNA Tag Team Champions. That's why.
Why does that mean you need to hate on them though?
Because I gotta hate on them. That's just how it is. But it was nice to see them back in WWE and working in NXT. That was good stuff. And then of course, like we mentioned, Fraxiom comes out. Santino Marella, who I actually was fine with tonight. Most of the weeks I'm not. He comes out and he made the match official. It's going to be for the TNA Tag Titles. Fraxiom and the Hardyz at Roadblock. I guess tit for tat. You got the did he get a tit for tat because of the NXT title with Oba and Moose, and then the TNA tag titles for Hardyz and Fraxiom. I think the Hardyz win, but I don't know for sure. There's a possibility that, again, this is another match that ends in a non-finish.
I love this whole card is just gonna be non-finishes. I would love
except for Oba and Moose, where Oba wins.
Well, yeah, because they're gonna have titty off. You gotta have a victor in that one.
That's right. That's right.
I do love that if Fraxiom just wins these titles, and it's like, oh yeah, the TNA title is just used to put over an NXT team, would absolutely rule.
It's gonna happen. I don't think so. Actually, I think if they do a non-finish, I think it's because Tyson and Tyreek get involved and set up Fraxiom, and Tyson Tyreek get maybe stand and deliver, and they just beat the shit out of Fraxiom and they win. It's good to see them back on TV with on NXT TV with Wesley. I think it's gonna happen.
What if that mysterious group shows up to cause chaos?
Well, that's all they do. They stand at the top of the arenas and laugh like hyenas while the women give their promos. What are we doing?
Do they have a plan for this group? Like,
thought they did. Clearly they don't. Remember when they beat up Oba Femi and then no one ever mentioned it again?
Well, Oba mentioned it and then Moose came out, and so we got distracted.
Not much better. I would have been like, nice to see you, Moose. Bring me the other 4 guys that beat me up. I don't give a shit about you.
Now they're beating up No Quarter Catch Crew and Robert Stone and all these people.
Are you insinuating that No Quarter Catch Crew need to add Robert Stone to their group?
No, I'm insinuating that No Quarter Catch Crew got their asses kicked last night.
They did, in fact, get their asses kicked last night. I don't know, man. It's just... Again, there is a story in the Dion Lennox part of this group, right? We've talked about it. He tells Oba Femi, I'm going to challenge you one day, and Oba laughed. Dion was a dork who was getting clowned on by everyone and kind of looked over because he had the glasses. Like he is the kid he is Jeremy from the song Jeremy by Pearl Jam. Like he's becoming the cool kid, or he's trying to be the cool badass. And he's got a group of guys behind him. Like there's a story there. It's also been a couple of weeks. Don't know what their plan is, if any, but it just, yeah, there's something there, but it just hasn't been attractive in the first few weeks.
They're just doing retribution stuff.
And that's the thing. People were like Shield 2.0, Retribution 2.0. I was like, God, give them a minute. But like, it's hard not to think that the Retribution 2.0 stuff like isn't warranted at this point. It's not great. But again, I'm willing to let it play out.
Shield 2.0 is not a knock.
No, it shouldn't be either.
Shield came in and they helped CM Punk. They interfered in a world title match. Like when they got called Shield 2.0 after the first night, it's like, I hope they are the Shield 2.0. 2 of those guys are the biggest stars in WWE. The other guy's the top star in AEW. Everyone should strive to be Shield 2.0. And look, they came after the top guys in the first week. They went after Oba and they went after Fraxiom. Those are the champions. And since then, they've just gone after lower people and no one's really paid them any attention.
Maybe what should happen is Dion Lennox comes out, beats Oba Femi, wins the NXT title, puts it in a briefcase, and then 2 months later eats it and says the NXT title is inside of me. And I'm going to remake NXT in my image.
The Rock's got to extract it. It's like, I need the NXT title. My daughter said the NXT title is your soul. I need your soul.
Could you just imagine The Rock interacting with those guys?
The Rock would not know who these people are.
Lola Vice, I know who you are, Lola Vice.
The Rock would not know any of these people.
What a world.
He'd have to write all their names down on his wrist, and then I hope Dion Lennox calls him out. And it's like, why you got our names on your wrist? Can you not remember? Are you losing it at your old age? Do we need to call AARP on you? bury how old The Rock is.
Maybe Scorsese should have us in his movie.
Yeah.
That sets The Rock off. WrestleMania, Deion Lennox versus The Rock. That's who's bought in. That's the one I want. But still, he's got to eat that world title. That's the only way that he's going to get any credibility in this group. Oh my goodness. What else? Is there anything else on NXT that was interesting in terms of presentation or show? Really, the show. The production. I will put this over, actually.
Yeah, you wanted to say nice things about the production.
Well, it's actually just one thing that I noticed. Go back and watch the show if you want, but there was no hard cam. They didn't use a hard cam last night. They used a jib cam as their hard cam, and it moved around most of the night. They had a very kind of like fluid presentation to the show. They used a lot of they used a lot of like roving cameras and the top down shots, but in terms of a hard cam, they only used the jib. And that's the one that for those who don't know or have never been to a wrestling show or maybe have and never noticed it, the jib is the one that's on the big crane-like structure. And that's a camera that's usually for big, wide sweeping shots of the audience. But instead, they were using it because of the size of the venue. They were using that as kind of a hard cam that moved around a bit. I appreciated that. That looked really cool. The venue looked good, different from when AEW ran it. And it was good. They put I think it was good that they put fans on the stage as well. They really like wanted to cram the place and make it look full for a venue. That's something that I hope if AEW goes back to a venue like that, they consider having fans up on the stage. I know that the pyro is kind of a reason why they might not want to do that, but I would rather sacrifice, Kenny's pyro to put fans up there, up close and personal, fill the stage and make it look much more intimate. But I thought the presentation was really good for that venue. It was different, and it was a breath of fresh air. It was cool.
With AEW's run that venue, and it looked good then, and it looked good last night. I didn't notice the no hard cam thing, but I don't pay attention as much to that stuff.
Just watch the opening match. Honestly, if you watch the first 5 minutes of the opening match, you'll be like, there's no hard cam. And then you'll see the rest of the night. No, I know you believe me. I'm just saying if you want to, I'm not saying you have to watch the whole 2 hours, but if you go and watch like the opening match with Vecker and Petrovich, you'll be like, oh, this is different. Henry's saying AW is pyro again. They do, but only when Kenny Omega comes out. And Buddy Matthews if you're in Australia.
Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints got a victory. That music.
Tony fumbled. That should just be the loop. That should be the music. Tony fumbled.
I felt bad for Ricky because he's like on the ropes and he wants to do the bow, 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 bow. And it wasn't there. It's just why he's like, all right, we're done.
I don't hate the music. I thought it was fine. I think it could use some tweaking. The audio signatures at the top of every theme are what needs to stop.
The revolution will be televised.
Yeah, my revolution is now. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Stop it. It was, again, the bar is low. So most people are like, yeah, it was fine. But it's fine. Not much. Doesn't matter. The Tony fumble chant was just funny. I don't give a shit. Like, I think I saw Ibu kind of mention this. Like, let the fans do that kind of chanting at the arenas because it's fun. It's silly. It's like, who cares? No one's going home being like, oh yeah, that Tony Khan really did mess everything up, didn't he? No one's who's in the right mind is really thinking that. It's just a funny, stupid chant. Like, that's all I saw it as.
That was clever, at the very least. Like, it's like, you know what? They actually came up with something a little bit clever there, though. I don't want that to be an overtaking thing, though. We don't need a Tony Fumbles chant for every single Ricky Saints match. Like, actually pay attention to what he's doing in the ring and, start chanting for Ricky instead of Tony Fumbled.
I like that Henry thinks that I watched the show enough to actually have listened to the chant when it happened. Jeremy can attest to the fact that at like 8:45, I still had not started watching the show.
Joel watches NXT on a delay, so
I watch most wrestling shows on a delay. There's reason for it. TNA, man, when TNA aired on YouTube, my favorite. I hated the app. I hate watching it on Bell 5 because I can't do it either. When I could watch TNA at 2x speed and start it like an hour later, the best because I don't miss anything. I hear everything. I see everything. I just see it at an accelerated rate. It's great. Just what it is. But like, you listen, if AEW fans wanted to chant like, I don't know, Sean fumbled at, I don't know who's someone, or Triple H fumbled at Tony Storm. I don't know, like, just pick someone. I don't care. I would laugh. I would have a good laugh. Ricochet, do it at Ricochet, because in this case, doing the best work of his career. Why not have fun with it? Sure, it's funny. Don't get angry over chants in pro wrestling.
And then it's become, I don't want it to be, again, like an overtaking thing. Like,
right.
I don't need this chanted for every single person. It's cute one time, and then we move on. We move on.
No, they should do it all the time. Nothing but Tony fumbled, Triple H fumbled, just some bullshit. People are putting over the Ricky Saints promo afterwards that aired on social.
That was good.
Yeah, it's very, very passionate, very, very much knows that this is where he wants to be and what he thinks he needs to do. And it's good stuff. I think, again, Ricky is tailor-made for the WWE presentation. There's a lot of upside to what he's doing. Hopefully it works out for him. His first match, in NXT was a good one. And now he'll do his first singles match, and then he'll have his first title match, and then he'll have his first this and that. Like, the newness is there, and people are buying into it, and I think that's pretty great. So, good for Ricky. Good to see him have a good, solid NXT match debut.
Did you know that Ricky Saints, is the most naturally gifted wrestler since Barry Windham?
I need to know who fed them that line, because it stood
Cody
out.
fed it to him.
Cody did?
That was what Corey Graves said. He's like, I was texting with Cody Rhodes earlier, and Cody told me he's the most naturally gifted wrestler since Barry Windham. And then CM Punk put him over. Graves like, I was texting with CM Punk, and he told, what did CM Punk say about Ricky? And he said, Ricky has natural swagger that most wrestlers spend years chasing. Oh, Corey Graves just shooting off text messages in the middle of the show to put over Ricky Saints.
Why didn't you text Corey with your thoughts on Ricky Saints? Ricky Saints gave me an interview that one time. It went really well. I liked him. Jeremy from Fightful says
Yeah.
it's just Corey reading his text messages about Ricky Saints. Sean Ross Sapp, that dirt sheet king, says. Oh God. He's just reading tweets that he got now.
He couldn't read Jade Cargill's tweet because she's still injured and can't text.
Right, she can't text. Can't use the security camera footage. She can't text. She can't do anything. She's an invalid. I can't believe it. She's gonna come back and people are gonna be very confused.
She can tweet, like she tweets, but she can't return text messages and comment because
she's not using she's using a computer to tweet. She's not using a phone. Yeah,
no, fair.
Actually, let's check. Jade it used to say sent from my iPhone and things like that.
I don't think it does that anymore.
Yeah, we got rid of that. Well, that's kind of stupid. My best friend, so proud. And then someone replies, thanks, Jade. I appreciate that. Anyway, I don't think there was anything else from NXT worth putting out there.
I thought it was another good show last night.
When they do the live stuff from other cities, they tend to have it's a different presentation. Not again, I talked about production, but like it's different. I like it. I'm glad that they go on the road once in a while. When they go back to the PC, it's noticeable, but it's not terrible. But they definitely put more into these ones. Having the Hardyz show up was a big coup for them, obviously. But yeah, good show, solid. Jada Parker trying to cut a promo while Netflix fumbles. Netflix fumbled. They don't know that though. I know you talked about Cody and Seth yesterday.
Yeah.
Thought that promo was good. I just want to put that out there. That's my those are my 2 cents. This is again, they're batting cleanup at this point. This is all that they're like, all right, Rock came and said shit. Now we gotta figure it out. And I think Seth made the most out of it. I do. I think Cody and Seth kind of drawing back to the last, to last year with the "You Are My Shield" and bringing back the fact that Seth was the one who took the offer once upon a time. There was, again, they used a lot of story beats as much as they could to at least make sense of what was a nonsensical start. So good segment. I don't want to get too deep into it because I know you two did. My brain is still on someone else is going to accept the offer. Maybe it's Punk. Maybe it's not. Who should it be? It should be Thea Hale.
Oh, man. That would rule. I don't think it's going to be Thea Hale, unfortunately.
Not with that attitude.
I'm still kind of leaning towards like it's Drew. That's where I think. I don't think that's the best story. I think Punk and Cena are better stories. It feels like it's Drew, though. It feels like it's Drew because of the relationship with The Rock and because of all of his history with the bloodline. And he's a truthful hypocrite, right? So him aligning with The Rock in this way, to him, he feels like he's doing the right thing, but he's also being hypocritical, which is sort of his gimmick. So I kind of think it's Drew in the end.
Drew would make sense. There's a story there. Again, everyone that we've talked about, there's a way to make sense out of it. Akira Tozawa, you could do that. I lost all this weight just for this moment. Akira, that was like 15 years ago. For this moment. And then he does it. He joins The Rock.
Drew, the problem with Drew, though, is he's going to do it. He's going to join with The Rock. And he's going to be, the Scottish boss. But then he's going to screw it up when he keeps up the gimmick on social media. He's going to keep burying people on social media. He's got to remind him that he's just playing a character. He's like, don't worry, guys. I'm actually really nice. I'm going to go make a nice family-friendly movie after this. I'm not really a bad person. I still don't like the bloodline, but I do like the bloodline. Me and The Rock are cool. I got no real issue with Cody. I'm just playing a character. My character wanted to win the title, and I needed to do this. I had to play this character to win the title. But still, please come out and support me.
That's the problem, is that you've defanged Drew in so many ways if you do this. I like the idea of Drew being the guy because of the history, but I don't like the fallout from that. Because
why? They're not actually going to do that.
No, but it's a bit of a defanging because he's just, I don't know. It just feels different. In my mind, I see The Rock being like, let me give you some pointers. And he does that, but he doesn't tell them to do it. He just like says, I see some of your tweets. I want you to be 1 billion followers up. And this is how you do it. And then it's like, you gotta stop going after the trolls. And then Drew just be like, all right, I'm listening. What else should I do? And he just
I don't think The Rock cares that much.
It's just social media etiquette. Just tells him how to do it.
I don't think The Rock cares that much, honestly.
Drew McIntyre.
I don't think The Rock cares. And everything. The Rock probably has no idea that Drew McIntyre, what he does on Twitter.
I think he does. I think this is one of the things that he does know because didn't you hear The Rock has 500 million followers, Jeremy? They keep telling you this. That's how you know it's going to be Logan Paul who joins up on the offer or some shit. Someone else who cares about how many followers they have on social media.
Here's the thing with this Rock gimmick and the whole selling the soul and who's going to align.
Oh, no, you froze there. That's what happened. I was waiting for the moment.
Okay.
There you go. You're back.
All right. Here's the thing with this Rock gimmick and like who's going to align with him and all this stuff. He's got to actually like commit to this. And what I mean is don't go on social media and say, oh, I'm just playing a character. It's so much fun. Like, obviously don't do that. But he needs to commit to this I need whoever this is in like the next movie. I need whoever this is in some type of TV spot or whatever it might be. Do a Terramana commercial and put this person in it. Show them on the movie set. Just show them it is some type of big ballers meeting. That show got canceled, I'm pretty sure. It just finished up. But show like go to the Super Bowl just passed, but go to the World Series or the NBA Finals and they're sitting there. Like, put them on your social media and do this kind of stuff. Like, if you're gonna brag about, I got 1 billion, 500 million social media followers, like, I want this person on your social media then, like cutting a promo with you, like whoever it might be. Like, do the whole final boss character on social media along with whoever you've taken the soul of, and actually commit to this beyond what we're going to see on TV, because what we're going to see on TV, I think, will be good, assuming they make the right choice and they actually follow through with it. But The Rock isn't going to be on television that often. Can't imagine that's going to happen. So I need whoever gets picked to have some sort of presence that is still with The Rock.
And that's the thing. This whole story, as we mentioned, is all about being The Rock's proxy. When The Rock came out and did that press conference afterwards and said, you know, what it would be like to build to a match without having a match. And it's like, well, you're doing it. You're going to have someone step in for you. That's all this is. You are the final boss, but eventually, like, you will have to get in the ring to deal with whatever issues you have. I know this. I know you're saying no, he doesn't, but like, the general belief is like, eventually you do kind of have to get in there, right? It's like, I know, I get it. But my point is, whoever accepts the offer becomes a proxy for The Rock. It's like the anonymous Raw general manager. The laptop will go off. Michael Cole will read the email, and whatever happens will happen. Whoever takes that job of The Rock's proxy will suddenly be the anonymous Raw general manager position. But they'll also wrestle. Or get beat up, kind of like Edge beat up the computer.
They're not going to be the anonymous Raw GM.
I mean, in terms of the presentation of you can't have a match with the Raw general manager, Jeremy. That was the point.
You could have a match with the computer.
Well, yeah, Edge did it. He beat the shit out of that computer. But regardless, that's where I'm at with it. Again, Punk is the easiest one. John Cena still presents a lot of intrigue because it's John Cena, it's turning heel, it's his last year. There's also part of me that just thinks Cena isn't going to have the WrestleMania main event, that it gets changed to Cody and Punk. And that Punk is the one who joins with The Rock. There is story there. There's a history there. You could do that. What if Cody does say yes, but he doesn't say yes at Elimination Chamber? They do the WrestleMania 17, not the double turn finish, but they do. Cody joins the dark side at WrestleMania this year. What if they do that? Would fans get into it? Would they believe it? Would they enjoy it? The Rock's there. He comes down. He says, Elimination Chamber comes. Cody says, no, Rock, I'm not going to do this. Screw you. Screw your corporation or whatever you're going to call it. Screw
TKO.
Screw TKO. I'm going to do things my way. If you smell what the Rhodes is cooking. No, he says he's going to do his own thing. I'm for my people. And then you get to WrestleMania, and whoever he faces, let's say it's Punk, let's say it's Cena, let's say it's both, whoever it is, he ends up siding and doing something bad to side with The Rock, keep his title, and it's the beginning of that. What if that's where we go?
That's a possibility. I wouldn't rule that out. I don't rule out a lot of things because I don't think they got a plan with any of this.
Yes, exactly.
So they could pull a number of different things here. And I'd be like, yeah, sure. As long as they try to make it make sense. And I think there are a lot of directions you can go with this that could be intriguing for the rest of the summer, the rest of the year, however long they feel to stretch it out or anything like that. There are a lot of directions to this. There's still a Roman factor into this that feels a little overlooked right now because I know he's been off television and he's not going to be at the chamber. He's not going to be in the chamber match anyway. But there's still a Roman factor to this. And if Punk is going to face Cody, Punk's the one that's going to sell the soul and everything. So are we giving Roman and Seth? Well, Seth is obviously trying to insert him into the Cody stuff, which makes sense with the chamber coming up and Roman being out of sight, out of mind a little bit. But Roman's going to return. And you would think, if they're smart, Roman's going to play some type of role in The Rock's decision because The Rock is part of the bloodline, allegedly. He's at least on that big giant tree that he showed everybody. So you would think Roman would have something to say. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Roman, like he's done in the past, of like, oh, T-shirt, okay, sure. Anyway, what kind of business do we got to handle tonight? What's on the docket? What's on the agenda for tonight? But I would think Roman factors somewhere in here. And I don't think it's Roman turning, but I do think he's got to be a factor.
I like the idea of Roman coming out on Monday after Elimination Chamber. Rock's gone. You know, the answer has been given. And he shows up and he says, all right, is he gone? All right, let's get down to business. And that's when he starts his own WrestleMania build. He's like, get that dork out of here. Let's start my business. I think they're going to wait on Roman too. I don't think he'll be at Elimination Chamber. I really do think that they would have him as early as the Raw after Mania in Buffalo. Or sorry, the Raw after Elimination Chamber in Buffalo. Could be as easy as that. Start whatever build they're going to do. Or Roman's going to get involved in the Elimination Chamber match itself and cost someone like Seth or Punk, because that's where we left off from Royal Rumble. Could be as easy as that. And that starts heating up whatever Roman does for WrestleMania, which should be a big match because it's Roman Reigns.
I think if they have Roman and they can get him for Chamber, which I assume they could. I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know if he has like another commitment or whatever. I'd have him interrupt Cody and Rock at Chamber. And then you just go from there. You figure that shit out after that. You have those three in the ring. You tie up a bunch of loose ends that they need to tie up. And you go from there.
It's one of his like 27 kids' birthdays. Can't make it. Kid's birthday. That's what you said last month. Yeah, well, another kid had a birthday. What do you want?
I don't want Roman like costing Seth or anything like that.
They've done that so many times where someone gets into the Elimination Chamber, like sneaks in and costs someone. I don't want that either. I'd rather Roman, if he does anything, Seth gets eliminated and then Roman comes out to beat ass or something. I don't know, but just not in the chamber.
Yeah, it does feel a little overplayed that somebody who's not in the chamber gets in there to cost somebody the match. And again, I will stress, if Roman is there, like if your original plan was, oh, he's going to cost Seth, that means Roman's there. That means he showed up at some point in the night to cost Seth. Why wouldn't he get involved in this Rock and Cody stuff? Why would he be there to just cost Seth? He can still do that, but why wouldn't he have something to say about this Cody and Rock stuff? Feels like that concerns him to some extent, that Rock, who he was aligned with last year and who is his bloodline brother, all of a sudden wants to do this business with Cody, who Roman still doesn't like. I know they teamed up at Bad Blood and everything, but even before that, there was a lot of tension. Roman was like, you're in my way still. I'm still coming after that title.
Oh,
so why would... Yes, in life.
Sorry.
Like, why would Roman just accept, oh yeah, they're sure The Rock wants Cody to be his champion type of thing. So I think if Roman shows up in any capacity, he should be involved in this segment.
Yeah, I agree. He is the biggest name out there that's not in this segment between Cody and Rock. So why wouldn't he come out with the history they have and with the stories that they've told? Yeah, Roman deserves to be in that spotlight.
All right, here's how it goes, Joel.
Okay.
You close the show with Cody and Rock, because who could possibly care about closing the show with wrestling, right? I mean, so the big decision is Cody and Rock. And then all of a sudden Roman's music hits and he comes out and he just raises up the one. And then he just puts down the one and then he walks to the back. And that's it. That's how you close the show. You're like, what does that mean? Why did Roman Reigns show up? And then he gets on Instagram and he's drinking some vodka. You know, The Rock's got tequila. Cody's got his... oh, that's vodka. Sorry. All right. Roman's drinking whiskey.
Whiskey. Okay.
Yeah, Roman's drinking some whiskey. So he gets on Instagram and he's drinking whiskey because Cody has his vodka, Rock has his tequila, and he gets in the car and Paul Heyman's driving. Roman, safe driver. He's not getting in the car afterwards. Roman, very safe driver. He's bumping some Travis Scott, not ZZ Top, Travis Scott, what he's bumping. And then tune in on Monday or tune in 8 months from now and maybe Roman will show up and explain things or not explain things. It doesn't really matter.
He should just come out and do 3, 2, 1 because it's the third month. There are 2 people in the ring, and it's March the 1st. What could he mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's just 1 though. He just holds up the 1. That's it. It's like, oh, what does the 1 mean? It certainly can't mean he's just doing the same shit he's been doing for 5 years now with acknowledgement. There's got to be a deeper meaning behind the 1. The Rock did 3 and then a throat slash. Roman's just holding up the 1. I do like your March 1st port of it. Oh, it's March 1st. Wait, is that the 1? Is he signifying a one-on-one match at WrestleMania? Is he signifying he should be the 1 that'll sell his soul? Tune in on Monday or 8 months from now.
I wouldn't even have Roman show up like coming out through the arena the traditional way. He doesn't come out on the stage. You know what he does? You're familiar with the Sky Dome. You're familiar with the Rogers Center. You've watched the Blue Jays games. You know that there is a hotel attached to the venue, right?
Sure.
Did you know this? Some people may not know this. There is a Marriott hotel attached to the Sky Dome, and some of the rooms look into the ballpark. That's where Elimination Chamber is. Everyone should be like, where is Roman? Where is he? He's not on the stage. He's not in the crowd. And all of a sudden the light just shines and he's in one of the rooms just staring on with Paul Heyman just doing his, yes, my tribal chief. And that's when he does the 1. And everyone's like, whoa, what could it mean? He's in a hotel room. He's watching? That should be it. He doesn't come out. He's just in his room. Has he been here the whole time? Has he been in this room for the last 6 months? Where has he been? It's been 2 months, but whatever. Where has he been? He's been in this room. And he's not leaving.
Toronto.
just chilling in Toronto at the Marriott. And he just comes out. That's it. He's just in that hotel room. Great hotel. I thought about getting a room for that particular event.
Can you see the show from there?
Yeah, it's over by the scoreboard, so you may not see from the scoreboard is also this big strip. Anyway, let's take a look. The Marriott's Rogers Center, Toronto Marriott City Center Hotel.
Now, can you get a room for Elimination Chamber night that'll be cheaper than a ticket?
That's the question I have. Let's find out. Reserve. I want 1 room, 1 adult. It's for let's take Saturday, March the 1st, just for the 1 day. I can look up specific rooms, but anyway, view rates. All right, here we go. We're going to see if I can get a cheap room in the Marriott City Center Hotel. What's it going to cost? It's going to be $2,000. Oh, okay. 1 room type available. 1 guest room, 1 king, baseball stadium view. My member rate, non-refundable amount. I should probably sign in. It's a little cheaper. Take a guess. How much is it for the 1 night?
All right. Well, you said you were expecting 2,000 and seemed surprised that it seemed more affordable. So we are going to go 1,200.
893 Canadian.
That's not terrible
for 1 night. So there you go. If you how much is a ticket right now for Elimination Chamber? Ticketmaster Elimination Chamber 2025. Let's see. Buy Elimination Chamber tickets. I see you at 1,200, chat. I see it. Exclusive. Ticketmaster now offers hotel deals. Oh my God, let's take a look. While we're doing it, let's take a look. Need to know. Okay, that's fine. There are a lot of tickets available for the show. I mean, they have 32,000 tickets available. So if I'm in the hotel, I'd be at the back. So you should know that the stadium is cut in half for the show. and the hotel's in the back. So basically, you'd be seeing behind everything else.
Nah.
So I don't know if you'd actually see the venue or see the event. But let's take a look. Right now,
Can't I walk down and just
no, because the windows are closed. They're all closed window seats. You can get a 500 level ticket for 162 Canadian.
that seems like a better deal.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't say. I'd be sitting. You know what? Even in 111, it's $300 for a ticket Canadian to sit basically like opposite hard cam. I'm not sitting there. What am I doing? I'm not an idiot.
Are you going to the show?
I have no idea. No one has confirmed or denied whether or not I will be in attendance on Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
Got to wait until Sean comes to town. Anyway, don't know about getting the Marriott for a night. It's far away from the actual event, and I feel like they're gonna just put black curtains down everywhere you would actually look in.
Pissed. I'd be pissed if that happened. Like, look, if I paid $800 for this, I better at least see the little specks that I can watch wrestle.
What's funny is that people would assume that that's where Talent Hotel would be. It's not. It never is.
I wouldn't think that, honestly.
Well, it's at the venue. It's literally at a hotel attached to the venue. If you could take, secret tunnels to get around, you could do it.
I guess so. But I would not think that's where it would be.
That's fair. Cyclops is better than Wolverine, saying this ends with Cody rejecting The Rock in the ring, and then The Rock says, "There's always Plan B." And then Pharaoh comes down with a chair in his mouth and hits Cody. That's it. That's the
Honestly,
answer.
Pharaoh selling out would be amazing.
Would he rename him Shithead at that point?
Yeah, just giant Titantron that's a shithead on it.
There already is a wrestler who calls himself Shithead, isn't there?
Is there?
I think one of the NXT, like one of the NL athletes, has Shithead as a name, or calls himself Shithead.
That feels like you're
NXT Shithead. Someone, I forget what his name is. Someone knows who I'm talking about. I know someone in our chat knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, it's BJ Ray or BJ, whatever the hell his name is.
I mean, I guess that's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, BJ Ray. He called himself Shithead for a long time. Sexy BJ Ray. Anyway, it's fine. It's going to be Shithead the dog. And Tenru's also sent a super chat saying, all these people all of a sudden Hardyz fans after saying who cares about them in AEW. Funny times. Also a lot of Eddie Kingston videos on the timeline. Good stuff. Yeah, he's pretty great. Do like my Eddie Kingston. Hardy stuff, like, let's not pretend that they had a great run in AEW. They didn't. They didn't win the tag titles. There was other issues at play with Jeff, and Matt had the Hardy family office, and then it was the AF. It was a whole stuff. They didn't have a good time in AEW. They're doing well in TNA. They're sticking to the nostalgia run. People know them as those Hardys, so they're doing pretty well. Like, I don't think it's much of an AEW thing. I think it's just a presentational thing at this point.
Yeah, it was self-inflicted in AEW when they were gonna get the titles. And then the stuff they did, like, I don't think them mentoring Private Party was fine for what it was. The feud with Ethan Page and the Firm, like, it was fine as a Rampage thing. The stuff with Hangman was super weird and unnecessary. The stuff with Sammy Guevara was unfortunate. But yeah, the team as just the Hardys, not so much Matt, but the team as just the Hardys, it wasn't a good AEW run, and it's not necessarily AEW's fault. I don't blame AEW for the way they handled them after everything happened. They rightfully didn't feel they could really trust Jeff in that spot. And so, do I think they could have done a little bit more with them? And not saying have them win the tag team titles, but have them be a formidable tag team in the division? Yes. I do think they were shortchanged in that way after everything that happened. But I also understand why they weren't given the ball after everything that happened, because it was so much self-inflicted stuff. So were people down on the Hardys in AEW? Like, I don't know. I don't keep up with other people's takes all that much, honestly.
People weren't super high on Matt Hardy's presentation, which, like, honestly, it's become par for the course that people just hate on Matt because he's not the flippy Hardy. Like, he's always been the more kind of cerebral,
and he's online.
Yeah, and he's online. Like, and he's had his own history with his own stuff. But like, people just you either love you either love him or you don't. That seems to be the Matt Hardy thing. I like him. I think he's got a great mind for wrestling. I don't think he's perfect by any means, but I think that he has his place in his tag team. Like, he deserves the accolades that he has. With Jeff, people love Jeff because he was that free spirit. His character was so out there, and they also want to root for the underdog, which a lot of the times Jeff was presented as such. Even when he was going through legal issues or other, issues of substance abuse, people wanted to cheer for him, and that's great. Cheer for him because he should be getting better. But that was kind of why people seem to like Jeff or gravitate towards Jeff, because he's out there.
And he's not online.
He's not online. And we ask him, he's like, I don't know, man. I just want to cut grass and hang out with my family. Like, it is what it is.
I know, no knock on Matt. In the limited interactions I've had with Matt, he's always been very kind to me. So I don't have anything bad to say about Matt. I love this podcast with John Alba. Don't like John Alba, but I love his podcast with John Alba. Well, look, the people online who give their takes on certain things they're always going to be looked at differently, right or wrong. And Matt gives his takes on things, so he's going to be looked at of, all right, well, why do we need your take on this, Matt? And he posts a lot, which is fine. But people look at those guys. Like, Kevin Durant is one of the biggest stars in NBA history. He's fucking online. And he gets shit for it because he is online. So the people who are online just get more backlash. They just are.
Bury John Alba more.
I have no heat with John.
We love John. We do.
Anybody I bury is probably a bit. I don't think I have any heat with anyone. Maybe I do. I don't know about it. And if I do, I probably would not say mean things about them because then it's real and I don't want it to be a bit and I don't want to even acknowledge it, honestly. So yeah, if I bury anybody, I probably have a very good relationship with them.
Yeah, we don't really waste time talking about people we don't care for. That's just us. Yeah. People can choose to do with their time as they please. And that's kind of our feeling. What was I going to say about the Hardys? There was something else I was going to say with when it comes to Matt and everything, but I'll move on because I clearly can't remember what it was. But want to preview AEW Dynamite for tonight's?
Is it a great show? Is it a good show? Is it
the best show they've ever done?
Yeah.
I will waste my time burying AEW. Let's go. Yes. Oh, you know what it was? It was Janela calling out Stevie Richards over the Penelope Ford, Megan Bayne, Thunder Rosa stuff. That I think was a good. I'm glad Janela did that because of course the Fightful Select reporting was that it was miscommunication. Like people didn't talk about it in time, and since then it's been discussed and it's water under the bridge. Everyone's going to work together, easy peasy. And that's what we expected it to be. But then some people wanted to turn it into like a, no one talks to each other in AEW. The communication's awful. And like there are some communication issues in AEW, but it's not related to something like that moment. So I thought Janela was in the right to call out Stevie Richards in this case and be like, stop just talking shit for clicks and views.
I hate, and I've said this many times, and I'll continue to say it. I do not care about wrestler opinions on shit that they are not part of. I just don't. Jeff Jarrett has a podcast. Jeff Jarrett being like, I think The Rock's going to wrestle. Jeff Jarrett is totally unplugged from that world, and no one actually knows. JBL has actually made a WWE appearance, and even he's like, oh, I feel like The Rock's going to wrestle. He doesn't know. I don't care about their opinions on this stuff that they are not part of. I like hearing them tell stories. If they are part of it, then great. Like if, for example, Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson, he's a producer at WWE. He was asked, When'd you find out about The Rock? And he's like, oh, I kind of found out when everybody else on social media found out. It's like, okay. Like, that's actually something that he is part of that he might have extra insight and knowledge to. If Dustin Rhodes wants to weigh in on what went wrong with Thunder Rosa and Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, I might be a little bit more inclined to listen, because Dustin Rhodes is a producer and a coach and a talent at AEW. If Dustin Rhodes wants to weigh in on what went wrong in the match between Lyra and Dakota, which I don't know if anything actually went wrong in that match. I feel like they had a good match and it was pretty straightforward and things were good. I'm just using an example here. If he wants to weigh in on that, I don't care, because I don't think Dustin Rhodes would know what actually went wrong and if he talked to anybody. TJ Wilson wants to weigh in on what went wrong there. Well, he's on SmackDown, so it wouldn't be quite apples to apples, but I would imagine he talks to people. Great. I don't care what TJ Wilson thinks about what happened with Thunder Rosa and Megan Bayne, because he's not there. He's not part of that company.
The Lyra, by the way, the superplex spot between Lyra and Dakota, that was a moment. That was definitely oh shit, I hope she's okay. I think that was just very good selling, or a very quick like, oh, I hit my head hard, or I hit my neck hard. But just because you mentioned it and I didn't get to talk about it. I really liked that match, but I also really liked the presentation of those two just beating the shit out of each other for a good amount of time. That was a good Intercontinental Championship match between those two women. But yeah, going back to the point, I really like it when some of these wrestlers come and, like you said, they talk about their day in wrestling when they were doing it and the stuff that their stories from their time that they experienced. When they talk about their experience, I'm all about it. When Stevie used to talk about, like, he tried to do match breakdowns and he would have like certain moments like, this was great, this wasn't great, whatever, and here's why. When he would talk about things like psychology, I'd be like, okay, I'm listening to this. I'm all about this. And then at one point, this isn't to pick on Stevie Richards, it's just because this all started with the Joey Janela retweet and all that. When you start going down that everything AEW does is bad and all that shit, like, it doesn't appeal to me. And I know we make the bit here and we joke all the time about I bury AEW, whatever, it's fine. But I don't work for any of these companies. I don't bury AEW. I give constructive criticism to my points, and then I play in the bit once in a while. But the point is, I don't go and make AEW so much, and then I just play up the bit, but I don't try to cash in on it like that. I don't have that experience. I would rather use that stupid experience to talk about it and like to talk about my experience. And I don't know. I don't understand. I do understand. I don't think that it's smart, a good way to monetize your work, but history will be kind to those who do it properly, in my opinion. That's why we don't do clickbaity stuff on our show. I try not to, or if we do it in a way where there's like honesty and transparency to it, and we don't like go fucking crazy with stupid ideas, you know? Anyway.
Well, this is why I think Maven has it right, because Maven just tells what he did in wrestling. I don't think there's a Maven video out there where he's breaking down AEW Dynamite. I don't know if Maven watches AEW. And you know why I don't know that? Because he doesn't put it out there. He doesn't say, yeah, I watched Dynamite, it sucked. And then he just completely buries the product, or maybe there's something he likes. Maybe he talks about his time in wrestling. Talks about what he did, what he made, what he saw. Good. That's the stuff that I like to hear from these wrestlers. You know, it's people who are still currently, you know, in wrestling and still getting booked on shows. And Jeff Jarrett has a podcast. He's weighing in on WWE things, and it personally does not appeal to me. Obviously, there's a market for it. Obviously, there's a place for it, because they get a lot of attention, they get a lot of views and things like that. Me personally, big Jeff Jarrett guy, love Jeff Jarrett. I do not care about his thoughts on current day WWE. I don't.
Hey guys, Maven here. You want to hear about who fucked who backstage WWE? I'm here to tell you.
That's a little much that I don't care about, but I
He's-
don't care who's sleeping with who.
He's done that video, so who am I?
Can anybody tell me who's sleeping with who?
That's one video I haven't watched of his where I'm like, I don't need this. AEW Dynamite tonight from Oceanside, California. Revolution is coming up, so we're doing a West Coast jaunt for AEW. Looking forward to that. Yeah, let's talk about it. Swerve and Prince Nana are going to speak. Are they going to be interrupted, or are they going to actually get all the words out?
No, I think they'll get the words out, and I think they'll have an official match for Revolution by the end of the segment or the night.
Good shout. I didn't think about that. Ricochet, does he appear, do a backstage or anything like that then in response, or we just leave it for this week?
He might respond. He might come out and they'll just be on the ramp and it'll be a response. What I mean by they'll get all the words out is like they'll finish the promo and then Ricochet might come out and then offer up the immediate response, and then they'll have a little back and forth. That's my guess.
I wouldn't hate it if they lay out the challenge this week. Maybe on Collision, Ricochet accepts, and then on Wednesday they do something of a intense, like not a pull apart brawl, but something that gets them the heat going into the match at Revolution. I'd like to see something like that, but we'll see.
I think Ricochet's got to cut up that jacket.
I think Nana's going to side with Ricochet. I think he's going to turn and join. Nana's going to join with Ricochet. Give him the jacket and be like, "This is yours. You deserve it more than anyone else ever did."
Okay,
that's where I'm at. We'll see. Swerve can survive on his own. Every time we've talked about Swerve coming out, there's always the caveat of like Nana comes out, does a dance, throws his coffee, shills his shit, and then Swerve speaks. I think Swerve could do it on his own and look really good doing it as like a proper babyface for the company. But that's where I'm at.
I need Thea Hale trying Prince Nana's coffee.
I'd like to see that too. We should ask. Thea, have you ever tried Prince Nana's coffee? This interview is over.
Was that Arnold?
Yes.
You just put like Arnold there.
Yeah, he's a WWE Hall of Famer, so clearly he would be in the room for this conversation.
Coffee, this interview is over.
Oh, Daniel Garcia and FTR are going to team up to take on Undisputed Kingdom. This is a very random ass match. Well, FTR are coming back from their excursion to Collision, so it's good to see them back. Again, I still don't understand.
They're focused on the tag titles, doing trios matches.
It's just what you do. First, they were going after their old pal Cope and trying to help him beat up the Death Riders, but they also support what the Death Riders are doing. Very strange.
Yeah, this is a match. Like, I'm sure it'll be good. It's not like Garcia and FTR don't have any history. They do. They've teamed together before. It just feels, can we not do something else with Daniel Garcia? He's the TNT champion. Why is he doing so many trios matches? Knock it off.
I do find it kind of funny that TK may have said, "I'm not feeling this rated FTR gimmick. Let's put this to rest."
Well, he's just paired up with Jay White, and the Guns are back, but Jay White's not even acknowledging them.
Just do Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia at the pay-per-view for the TNT title.
I assume that's what they're building. I'm just not the hugest fan of this build. And FTR, when they're like, "Hey, we want the tag team titles," and then they're off television for a week, and then they're just coming back and doing a trios match. It's like, maybe you should do like a tag team match at some point here.
Hangman Page 2 competes. Who will he squash tonight? Who is a California wrestler named John Cruz that they could beat up?
Is he gonna squash somebody? I mean, I guess so, but I'll probably have a short match. That's pretty good.
Well, after that, MJF to appear, so I'm pretty sure Hangman Page will do the opposite of what happened when MJF had it. They're going to do the flip-flop of the first time. Wasn't it, where MJF had a match, and then Hangman Page showed up. Now Hangman Page will have a match, and MJF will show up, and they'll do a thing. I figured that's how it's going to flow. Hangman's going to win, and MJF shows up, or MJF shows up, and then Hangman has his match. Whatever it is, it'll all be played in together, which, sure, why not? Will they beat each other up, or will they just talk?
No, I think they'll just suck. I think Isn't there a you can't touch each other until the pay-per-view, or did I just pull that out of thin air? I only bring that up because like they didn't touch each other last week. Like MJF spit at Hangman, and then Hangman got really mad and like wanted to kind of go after him, but security got in the way, or he held back. I feel like there's y'all can't. Maybe that was just for last week and nothing's off limits this week and they can punch each other in the face.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know about anything like that. Bounty match, not the quicker picker upper. We're talking about a monetary bounty. Brian Keith takes on Will Ospreay. How much money is on Will Ospreay's head, and why is this? Did Don Callis put us up to this?
Yeah, Don Callis put the bounty out, and so the bounty hunter makes a lot of sense to,
of course,
try to collect it.
So again, how much is the bounty worth? Because it's Will Ospreay. He is one of the number ones, the 1A or 1B, however you want to see it. 10,000 Canadian dollars. It's like $8 American. So what are we doing here? How many bruv bucks are we talking about, bruv?
Oh, that'd be great actually if people got paid him. That'd be a good heel gimmick for Ospreay. Bruv bucks. That'd be good. What about Callis coins?
Callis coin?
Yeah.
That's his meme coin?
Yeah, that's his meme coin. He's like, you can invest in Callis coin. This is how you collect your bounty. Just give it 6 months and then make sure you cash out in 6 months. And then 6 months from now, Don Callis has completely disappeared and Brian Keith is like, I've lost all my money. He's doing a homeless gimmick because he doesn't have any money. He spent all of his Callis coins. He invested all of his money in Callis coins. And he's just wandering, looking for Don Callis. He's just showing up to AEW. He's like, hey, what are you doing here, Brian? You're not booked for the show tonight. And he's like, where's Don Callis? He's just disappeared. He used to have a podcast and he's no longer on his podcast. He used to have a family. There's no family members. He's like questioning Kyle Fletcher and he's questioning Takeshita. He's like, where's Don Callis? Have you heard from him? And they're like, no, what happened? I invested in Callis coin. And they're like, that was fucking stupid. Even we didn't do that. That's the end of the bit.
Where's Chris Jericho throughout this whole thing? He's supposed to have Brian Keith's best interests.
Chris Jericho doesn't associate with broke people.
That is fair. He does not do that.
Chris Jericho tried to warn him. He's like, don't invest in this Don Callis coin. I've known Don for 30 years now. He's a smarmy, slimy, underhanded snake. This is not going to end well. But Brian Keith is a very trusting man, you know? Brian Keith is like, no, I trust him. Look what he's done for Kenny Omega. Look what he's done for Kyle Fletcher. Look what he's done for Takeshita. Don Callis has always had best interest at heart. I trust him with Callis coin. Even Jericho's like, oh, all right, brother, you're going to learn this lesson on your own.
Have we done Jericho versus Will Ospreay?
Yeah, at All In, the first one.
Oh, Christ. I didn't even think about that.
Remember Chris Jericho was Freddie Mercury before he transformed into Chris Jericho.
Oh, my God. I barely remember that. Oh, my God. Yes, you're right. That was awful. That's why I forgot it. Jesus.
That was a good match.
The match was good. I'm talking about the Freddie Mercury thing.
Hey,
yeah, he thought it was.
That rolled.
Shit, you know what? I'll say something nice about Chris Jericho. I listened to his interview with Paul Stanley from Kiss, and that was a good interview. I know that a lot of people don't listen to the non-wrestling interviews on Talk is Jericho, but again, I go back to this. Once upon a time, Lance Storm, Don Callis said it to his face. Jericho's really good at interviewing non-wrestlers. So if you go back and listen to the Paul Stanley interview, it's like the 5th time he's had Paul. It's a really good conversation. So I'll put over Jericho for that.
No, I think Jericho is a good interviewer, period, but that's just me.
That's fair. Again, and you listen to all of his stuff when he's especially with wrestlers. So yeah, he has the background. He has the acumen. He's a good conversationalist, but I completely blocked out of my mind that Jericho and Will Ospreay had happened because it wasn't. It's too much in my brain. International Championship match: Konosuke Takeshita takes on Orange Cassidy. Is this the main event or is this the opening contest? Because we got to bring out Will at the end. We got to bring out Kenny at the end.
Yeah, this is the main event because Kenny's coming out at the end. This is the main event. There's no title on the line in this match, Joel. What do you mean international title match?
You're right. It's the right to face Kenny at Revolution.
Yeah, that's what's at stake here. The right to face Kenny Omega at Revolution.
Do you think Kenny still has the international championship from last week?
I hope so. He just comes out with it.
He should. You forgot it. He forgot this, Takeshita. I wanted to bring it back to you.
He forces Don Callis to get it from him. He's like, "Come on, Don. Do you want this? Come get it." Don Callis is like, "Have you heard about Callis coin? You can buy it now for this international title."
And then someone's going to use a promo and mention Pump and Dump, and someone's going to have to say, "Please don't make me think about Don Callis and
That's
Pump and Dump."
Terrible. What?
That's what happens with meme coins. Pump and Dump. That's how they take all this money. Kenny Omega should come out and be like, "This isn't for the international championship. It's for the right to face me. So I need the referee to lift me up over his shoulders right now and display me like I am the title that you are fighting for." And that's how we go to the match. The right to face Kenny Omega.
Yeah. It should be, instead of like holding up the title, I don't know. I lost my train.
Should hold up Kenny Omega. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with
Kenny
you.
just goes just like this. Just bench press me.
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing that to Bryce Remsburg? Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Forcing Bryce Remsburg to try to lift Kenny Omega. That'd be something.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. But the real main event is Deonna Purrazzo versus Harley Cameron.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's my main event. You're the one who did the rundown on the website, and you've got listed at the very top as Deonna versus Harley. Good for you. Shout out to Jeremy Lambert.
That's the match I care about the most. That's why.
That's the way it should be. I don't think anything else is being announced tonight.
I hope they don't do a wrestling match though. I hope they do like take a test. I already pitched that one, but I'm going to pitch it again. You know, they take a SATs. They do some Scantron tests out there. That'll get the numbers up.
People saying Camille joins Deonna tonight. We talked about that.
Is Camille just going to return and like
Harley Cameron's just going to be like, "Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares."
And they're just going to not acknowledge the whole Mercedes thing. And it's like, "Oh, it's Camille. We haven't seen her since she quit being the lackey for Mercedes." They just don't address her being attacked at all. What if the puppet attacked Camille?
That's the answer. It's the puppets.
Yeah.
Are you stupid or are you dumb? I'm a puppet.
Yeah, the puppet is the one who attacked Camille. I feel like we can tie all this together pretty well.
I've been in a coma for the last 3 months. What happened? It's the re-debut of Camille. Camille, take two. They're going to have, that's how she's going to come back. She'll come back during the Toni Storm Mariah May match. And it's going to be take two, Camille. And they clap the board, and that's how she starts. She'll be timeless Camille.
I actually think she could work as like a bodyguard for Mariah May.
Mariah May is already pretty tall. Like she's already pretty, I don't know. I think she stands on her own versus Camille. Camille with Toni Storm would make more sense presentation wise. Not like it doesn't work right now because Toni Storm is the babyface, blah, blah, blah. But like size to size, like Camilla is much taller, bigger than Toni Storm. So that would make sense. But I don't know if you could do it with Camille and what's her face? Mariah May.
All right, Joel, I have breaking news for you. This
stayed on the air long enough.
Involves your country.
Oh, Christ.
Nearly $3 million worth in cocaine and meth seized from trucks coming into Canada at Couts border crossing. Where's that at?
Coming into Canada?
Yeah, coming into Canada.
Where was it coming from, Jeremy Lambert?
Oh, I don't know. Is that the Couts border? Cuts border? Coutts border? Where's that at?
The Coots border?
Coots. Is that how you say it?
Hold on.
Your cootie shots border?
I misspelled border. Coutts? Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, it's from Alberta.
Oh, okay. It's coming into Canada.
Yeah. Oh, it's the port of entry. So I'm assuming is this a truck or was this? No, this is two separate incidents.
Oh.
Interesting. Let's take a look. Please tell me it came from the U.S. Please tell me it came from the US.
I mean, that wouldn't be that shocking.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
What are you clicking on, Joel? Joel, stop it.
I'm trying to look up USA, United States. None of that. So
Stop.
too bad. That's what you get. Well,
It was apparently going to be sent to Calgary.
yeah. Well, that's where the border thing was.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with Canada geography.
Yeah, Alberta is in Calgary. Sorry, Calgary is in Alberta.
Yeah, Calgary, Alberta,
Alberta's,
Canada.
yeah,
I've heard
yeah,
Bret Hart say that enough, or Lance Storm.
Lance Storm as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Southern Alberta. Oh, Southern Alberta? No, it's coming from the United States of America.
It doesn't seem that.
One was December 24th, 2024. And this was the meth.
They ruined somebody's Christmas. Shit.
And then January 18th was a commercial truck with a mixed shipment. That's where they found the 42 kilograms of cocaine. $1 million estimated value on the cocaine, $1.86 million on the meth. Amazing. Well, if it came from the States, tariffs are coming, baby.
I can't believe they ruined somebody's Christmas by seizing all those drugs on December 24th. They should have let that slide, right? Like, is this for Christmas? Like, yeah, all right.
All right, don't tell
everyone deserves to have a nice Christmas.
Full of the Christmas spirit, and you should be full of the cocaine spirits. Anyway, we gotta go. I have to go figure out where to get my cocaine and meth now. You have anything else to plug?
I never have anything to plug. No.
Thea's Christmas Coke. No. Poor Thea.
We are not casting those assertions out there.
No, we are not.
On coffee.
She is the sentient of cocaine. She is not doing it. She is cocaine. If cocaine was sentient, she would be it. Tomorrow they're back. SB3 and Jeremy are going to talk about Dynamite and whatever else came up. 10 a.m. Eastern here on the channel. I'm back on Friday to talk about, who knows, TNA?
We'll sing a song on Friday. We'll do our song on Friday.
Yeah. Think about which song it should be. Leave it in the comments while you're dropping a thumbs up on the video. Yeah. And of course, subscribing here to the channel. Jeremy, anything you want to say before we go?
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.